Did you even do a mic check? Is this the mic check? Okay.
Mic check, mic check, mic check.
Okay. Mic
What
check.
up, what up? A2HH Live on a Wednesday. Somebody said 6:33. We are on time as usual, right?
It's very shady by our fan base and our following.
Yo, we got the Braves hoodie. That's hard.
Yeah.
They pretty good.
Yeah. Just wanted to remind everybody, we just swept the Yankees. We have the best team in baseball. Your team sucks. It's a great time. Albies got hurt. He has a right hamstring tear, I believe, but we still have the best lineup in baseball.
The Mets are in our division too.
Nobody cares about them. They're done. Their team sucks. Their team, like, forever sucks. That's just a regular thing. Shout out to Queens. Your team sucks too.
You know what, man?
Stick to doing hip hop concerts in the Bronx.
One of my favorite baseball experiences was actually at a Mets game in Shea Stadium.
I'm sorry to hear that.
No, it was dope. It was dope. I mean, obviously the Braves stuff is the Braves, right? You know, been to Braves games, loved it. I remember being in New York. It was Merengue night, I think it was.
Okay.
One of the last games at Shea Stadium. Albert Pujols was in town, and that's when Albert Pujols was, knocking things out the park. They were building Citi Field so you could actually see it, but it was just so much love in the building, and the Mets weren't that good then either, but they had a real loyal base.
They're rarely good. They're the Mets. So
I root for the Mets, though, when it's not, the Braves involved. You know what I mean? Because I see their fan base. I see how loyal they are, and I rock with them because the Yankees are kind of like the Cowboys of baseball, where it's like they got so many fans from all over the place, and the people who are Mets fans are real fans. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to just say, you know what, I'm going to be a Yankee fan in New York. So
no,
I respect the Mets fans, though.
I hear you. I'm still not showing them any sort of mercy or grace. They both suck.
And they had Darryl Strawberry and Doc Gooden, too. So.
Cocaine Cowboys?
Yeah. Boys is bad, man.
No.
Darryl Strawberry is the truth.
I was actually thinking Doc Gooden was the truth. Gooden was the truth.
Yeah.
Gooden was the truth.
I was thinking about Strawberry as an overall athlete because, he played a bunch of sports. And back then, they weren't really – they would let black players, black athletes go play baseball, whereas now if you play baseball and you play basketball and football, they're going to guide you towards one of the other sports. And Darryl Strawberry comes from a time where – baseball was an actual viable option for black American players.
Strawberry could have had a Ken Griffey Jr., Barry Bonds type of career.
Yeah, Darryl Strawberry's really good.
He was that type of talent. He was that type of talent as a hitter and long distance hitter. Yeah.
The Braves, man, we got some.
I haven't seen a team like this in a long time.
It's a really good team.
Like I'm not just talking like our Braves team. It's like, no, I haven't seen a team like this in a while.
The Braves have always had pretty good teams over the past, I would say, 30 years now.
Since we were about 10.
Yeah.
Since we were 10.
Since the Dale Murphy days, and we
Phil
made
Negro.
that turn.
Yeah.
And I guess the Terry Pendleton teams and all that stuff.
Yep.
From then to now, we always had some pretty good teams.
That's
but
90,
this
91.
team,
yeah, this team different.
This team's the best team I've seen, and that's saying a lot.
This team different.
Yeah, that's saying a lot when it comes to the Braves.
How about this? I don't think we've ever had a team that's like toting out like multiple MVP candidates.
Right.
It's like Olsen might win MVP, and if he wins, he's going to take it from Acuna. You know what I mean? Like 2 of the 3 best players in baseball, at least like this season, are playing on our team. I don't think we've ever had it like that.
Acuna's the truth, man.
Oh, he's very much like reminds me of Barry Bonds at the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah,
he's Pittsburgh Pirates Barry Bonds. Like, and I mean that like. That guy was the best player in baseball.
Yeah. I've always thought Barry Bonds was the best player in baseball.
He's the best player ever. Best player ever.
When
baseball.
We put the title of today's show up, and I saw in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thumbs up in the chat. Y'all know the business. A2HH Live. We in here. If people are like another list, I think people are all listed out with all these lists that come around in hip hop. But I think if people can get somewhat of a credible list, they'll be fine. Like, I know that list we put out for, like, the top 50 hip-hop songs all time. At least my list. I remember people not having any issue with it.
I'm going to say, why people getting mad at our list? We don't be making whack lists.
Well, see, that's what it is. Like, when people make whack lists, they want us to correct it. But when we make our list, it's like another list. We want y'all input on this.
You got to love the following, but you can't follow the following.
Follow the following, yeah. I mean, listen, we're here to give you guys what Andre say? Andre was like,
quote Andre.
No, Andre had some really good insight. Actually, Andre was quoting Steve Jobs, I believe.
Sounds more like it.
He said something along the lines of, the people don't know what they want until you give it to them.
There's definitely some truth in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely some truth in that. So where are we going today? You want to know it just to wrap up our quick sports talk? I was thinking, and I know this sounds crazy to say, are we underrating Hakeem Olajuwon all time as a basketball player? Because when I really thought about it, think about this. Do you think Tim Duncan's a better basketball player than Hakeem Olajuwon?
I don't know. I never would have said that.
Now, Tim Duncan got 5 rings, and he got those 5 rings mostly on Kobe and Shaq,
Mm-hmm.
but also with like LeBron and KD and Wade floating around too.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know numbers-wise, like the championships, Tim Duncan is past Hakeem, but I don't think Tim Duncan's better than Hakeem either. And what does it say that Tim Duncan won his rings like when Kobe and Shaq were together and at their peak? So you could, in my opinion, make a valid case that Hakeem actually deserves to be ranked higher than Kobe, Duncan, and Shaq, and that would make him closer to top 5 than kind of like 10 where he falls. What say you?
Let me get to the super chat. I'm responding to that. 36 Chambers with the super chat says, Mike, the list we need is the lyricist list. Y'all put in the work for the top 50 all-time MCs, but talked about a top 50 lyricist. Is that on the horizon? I guess we could do that because nobody else is doing that. You know what I mean?
Giving us some shit to do.
Yeah, always giving us shit to do. But, you know, this is the thing, how we quantifying who a lyricist is. And I think that's why we've had this Tupac is a lyricist conversation anyway, because what if you and I said, you know, Tupac is a top 10 lyricist? Niggas would be like, nah, because he ain't do no Obama-atomically, Socrates philosophies, and you know what I mean? Like, so now how are we quantifying what a lyricist list even is?
I want you to get out my head because when thinking about this whole lyricist thing, I've actually been thinking about Inspector Deck in particular, and here's why. So, you know, I've been on my purple tape kick, so I've been playing it a lot lately. And so, you know, there's the verse on Guillotine, which he's known for, and the other one would be the Triumph verse, right? Aren't this his 2 most famous verses?
Definitely the Triumph verse.
Well, Mike, that's absurd. Because you want to know what his most famous verse really should be? It's the verse on Cream, Mike.
Yeah.
And you want to know what? If you actually go listen to that verse, lyrically speaking, that's more of a Tupac type of lyrical verse.
It is.
Than your traditional lyrical
but
miracle.
But it's not the lyrical dexterity
stuff.
But
that's the shit that got them on. Ray and Inspector Deck, the real of it, the reality of it.
Yep.
Is what got it through. For 22 hard long years, I'm still struggling. Survival got me bugging, but I'm alive on arrival.
Yeah, nobody would tell you that
when he says
verses is lyrically inclined as the other one.
But isn't it better? But isn't it better? You got stick up kids, corrupt cops, and crack rock, straight shots all on the block. It stays hot.
And then he got the Teen Summit quote right there, you know, where Teen Summit took, give it truth to the young black youth.
The shorty wanting wild, smoking sesh, drinking beer, and ain't trying to hear what I'm kicking in his ear. Don't that sound like Pac? Neglected, but yo, for now they got to be accepted. The what's? The life is hectic.
I lean more towards those lyrical performances.
Isn't that lyrical though?
You know, those are the people that'll tell you that Scarface ain't a lyricist.
I grew up on the crime side, the New York Times side.
Staying alive was no job, had second hands. Mom bounced on old man.
So then we moved. That's not lyrical to you?
Right.
Right.
So we got to define what I think lyricism means something different to different people.
I think we got to remember where we come from sometimes too, and understand that it's like it's always been about connecting. You know, you got to connect first, and what connects? The lyrics that you put together is what connect.
When do we start having this lyricist conversation?
It's really some East Coast bias about Tupac.
I'm trying to think.
It's about
when
Tupac.
Did we start saying such and such is a lyricist and such isn't?
Tupac.
007 with the super chat says ATL are the biggest underachieving team in baseball history. Shout out 007.
Okay.
Mad Max with the super chat says,
your team sucks, fam. It's okay.
Thanks for reeling me back in, Mad Max. He says Hakeem is the second best basketball player ever behind MJ. He just don't have the accolades because he never had a good second option like the rest. And I was just about to go there. I was going to say that. I was going to say when you asked me that question, Duncan achieved a lot individually, but by committee as well. You know, when you look at the people that Duncan won championships with versus the
he
people
never had a
that,
Manu or Tony Parker. Hakeem never did.
Yeah, no.
He had Drexler
what
for a
people
year.
got to understand, for a year. And Drexler was,
past his prime by then.
What people got to understand, Tony Parker was really good. Tony Parker was not just some regular point guard. No. He was a
top
perennial all-star.
He's top five-ish for his era.
He was a perennial all-star in the West.
Yeah.
When you had a whole bunch of people out there, man.
Jason Kidd, Chris Paul, Steve Nash.
I remember Tony Parker, man. He had that mid-range jumper. It was money every time.
Float game stupid.
Crazy.
Float game stupid. Teardrop.
So he's somebody that we don't really talk too much about.
Just win the Hall of Fame.
It's a really, really good player.
Well, you know what made me get on the Hakeem kick? I was watching NBA TV, and they were like one of the greatest international players ever. I was like, ain't nobody internationally close to Hakeem, including Dirk's ass.
One of.
Right. That's why I was like, yo, the disrespect is real. I was like, one of. It's like Dirk ain't fucking with Hakeem.
Yeah, who's better?
I was thinking, no, that's why I got to thinking. I'm like, I hope they ain't talking about Dirk, because Hakeem would take Tim Duncan's lunch money. He already took Shaq and Patrick Ewing's money.
Yeah, I mean, isn't he like top 10 in steals? I think maybe top 5 or
he's
something.
Top 10 in steals still.
He used to be top
position. 5. He used to be top 5. When he retired, he was top 5.
At the center position.
So he's number 1 in blocks. He's top 5 and top 10 in steals.
Wait a minute. Those blocks, no one's ever going to catch that.
Nobody's breaking
No one's going to catch that. That's like the Stockton.
It's literally averaging 4 blocks a season your whole career.
That's like the Stockton assists and the Stockton steals. No one's catching that. No one's catching Hakeem's block.
I could see the steals getting caught, the assists not getting caught.
I don't think so. You know how far ahead he is?
Yeah, he's pretty far ahead.
No one's going to catch that.
I could see somebody coming along that'll do it.
Let's see how far ahead he is than the next person.
Right. But
go ahead. What were you saying?
But just the whole Hakeem talk, I was really thinking to myself, it's like, well, the only guys that I really know are better are Mike and Magic and LeBron. And then it's argumentative, because even for Kareem, it's like, I love Kareem. Kareem's not the player on defense that Hakeem is, and Hakeem definitely can score with Kareem. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it could be argued that he's better than Magic.
He's beat Kareem and Magic in the conference finals before, by the way.
He has.
He has, with Ralph Sampson.
Oh, let me see something real quick.
So,
most NBA steals.
So he's got a lot, Mike. He's got a whole lot. He's got an MVP award. I think it's because he doesn't have a lot of MVP awards, because I think Duncan has.
Bro, ain't nobody catching this nigga.
3,265.
Look who's second.
Yeah, Jason Kidd.
And look at the number. No, nobody's catching him.
I mean,
for the people at home,
who's
Stockton has 3,265 steals. Jason Kidd second with 2,685 steals. Chris Paul third with 2,544. Like, Chris Paul in his long career, he's literally like 700 behind this man.
First of all, it's about the same length of career at this point.
Exactly. And he's 700 behind. Nobody's catching this.
No,
and niggas don't play defense anymore anyway, so nobody's catching it.
It's catchable.
You think so?
I do.
How? How do you? If Jason Kidd and Chris Paul,
all respect to them, they're not the swipers that, you know what I mean? That's more of a longevity thing.
They're number 2 and number 3.
Yeah, they weren't. Like, Chris Paul had some years where he was like a big steals guy. Jason Kidd was never like a big steals guy.
Well, who's the swiper you're talking about then?
I don't know. You know, I just think somebody always comes along who takes stuff like that down. I believe records were meant to be broken. So,
I believe so too.
So the assist one I can see, but the steals one, no. I think the steals one is tangible.
It's easier to break than the assist one, but I don't think either one are going to be broken. I mean, Mike's at 4.
Jordan?
With 25-14, yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Mike is 4th. Mike only played 14 seasons.
But I'm saying
he's
700 behind.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not like they're even close.
700 being 700 behind isn't far behind. Like, that's 2 or 3 seasons worth of basketball.
Is it?
Yeah.
How many okay.
Let's do the math. If it's an 82 game season and
right.
you average 2 to 3 steals a game, yeah, that's about 3 years worth of basketball to get to 700 steals.
And you got to do it every single year.
Yeah.
And you got to do it.
I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying it's doable. That assist shit. The assist thing is a problem. I told you, Karl Malone owes John Stockton forever.
John Stockton's incredible, and the fact that people make it seem like I'm bugging when I pick him at that point guard position and put him very high. It's like when you got 2 all-time records, people had a problem with the fact of me putting John Stockton at the point guard position over Steph. Well, Steph doesn't play the point guard position. This guy actually plays the point guard position.
If I'm drafting and I have, like, you know, my choice of players and I want a point guard, like, and that's how I view the position, and I want like a traditional point guard, yeah, I'm taking John Stockton
Of course.
over Steph too if I want a traditional point guard. I'm taking Isaiah over both of them, though, because he does both of the things that they do. It's like he can pass on a Stockton level, he can score on a Steph level. So Isaiah would still be my pick after Magic. But
Okay, on to some hip hop.
right.
You saw Travis Scott's, I guess, mini movie.
I watched some of it in the car before I fell asleep in Ron's car on the way here.
I think it was very. It really reminded me of what Ye did on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
I thought about that too.
And I could tell how much Ye has influenced this generation, and Travis specifically. And Travis said that when he brought him out on stage. It made me think. And listening to this album in that light, and you're going to like this. I've been listening to Donda a lot past couple days.
Why would you do that to yourself?
I think what you suffer from, and me too, what happened, and I'm not making excuses for Ye, but
yes, you are.
the Donda Deluxe, have you listened to that?
Why would I do that to myself?
Because the
good music
way
is on
that
there?
the way that's put together is much
the
better.
sequencing is better?
The sequencing is so much better. And it made me think when the original Donda came out, Def Jam kind of threw that out.
Great, because the
And
engineer...
then Ye also said, and the engineering's better too. And
Thank
Ye
God.
also was like, yo, I didn't want this out. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
And so the deluxe actually sounds like he put it together, and the songs are in so many, in different orders, and it's crazy how much the sequencing really, really changes a whole album. You and I were talking about that when we were talking about Moment of Truth the other day.
So I'm gonna go back and listen because
Listen
you
to the
said those
deluxe.
things. Because really, I remember my initial thoughts about the first listen where it's like, okay, somebody put the engineer and whoever mixed and mastered the album on suicide watch because they don't have a career anymore after bombing it like this. So I'm gonna go listen again.
Listen to the deluxe. It actually sounds different with
Sounded
everything
like
and
slavery
different.
the first time I heard it, but okay.
So anyway, with that being said, it made me feel like, you know what, that might be the collabo album that we might need.
No.
A Travis and Kanye album.
Well, here's the thing.
I think that'd be dope.
Well, here's what I thought about the Travis movie before I fell asleep on the shit. Well, first of all, I fell asleep on the shit. Second of all,
Could have just been tired.
I mean, I'm always tired. I still fell asleep on the shit. The second thing is that it's too Kanye-like.
Yeah.
It's too much 808s. It's too much Yeezus. It's too much My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I found myself, I wouldn't say losing respect for him as an artist because I think that's too strong of a sentiment to base, especially off of like, you know, a video or music movie. The Rick Rubin parts were cool. But it's like, well, what is Travis Scott's identity is really what I began to ask myself as a producer, as an artist, because it's like the more his career goes along, the more I see Kanye in it, and not in a good way, but in a like, well, how original are you type of way? Like, how innovative are you? Like, we give him a lot of props, Mike, in this era.
I know I do.
For being innovative and, you know, production-wise, taking things certain places that other people in this era aren't. But it's like, well, how much really? Because it's like, that shit sounded like 808s, Yeezus, and My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
It's that break again, man. The break hurts everybody. You're off rhythm. And
when you off rhythm, you go back to what you know, and his core, and his core is Kanye.
Yeah. I think Rodeo, to me, is his identity. Rodeo and, the second album, Brian McKnight. I think the Brian McKnight album might be his identity straight up. You know what I mean? Like, that's the one. Goosebumps is probably his most, I guess, Sycamore is probably his most notable song, but Drake's a cheat code. I would say Goosebumps is his most notable record.
I'd say Goosebumps, too.
Yeah. And so it's on that album.
You can't count Drake records.
Exactly. You can't count Drake records. The numbers are skewed. That's like counting an Eminem record or something.
It actually is. I would agree with you, Mike.
Leroy Green with the $20 super chat showing love. He says, I'm going to do to the extreme example that we take for granted because we make it easy. If you take Lupe's Miss Mural, a song about a painter having a conversation, but within that, there's like 20 other double meanings. That's lyricism. Okay.
Yes, but lyricism can also be Tupac on My Block.
Yeah.
Can't explain what attracts me to this dirty game. Gold
Mhm.
chain, some extra change in the street fame.
We don't talk about the lyricism of Me and My Girlfriend. That's lyricism too, right? Concept Records. Biggie never did that. But somehow we say Biggie's the better lyricist, right?
Has Biggie ever made a song as touching as Dear Mama?
I don't think Biggie has a lyrical moment like Dear Mama.
I don't think anybody does.
It's hard to come by. It's very Scarface, Ghostface. It has to be those guys.
They can't do it either. Or they would have.
007 with the $20 super chat showing love said 10 for a Koofy hat. Nas drops Magic 3 with a lot of features like Cole, Drake, and more next summer and does another Madison Square Garden show featuring the Magic series. Jigga Man drops an album next summer. Mid-90s artists come back outside.
Best thing going on in the Knicks Stadium and in the Yankee Stadium are rap shows.
Jay-Z.
What about him?
I had somewhat of an epiphany today.
Okay, I had a Rakim epiphany today, but we'll get to that when we do.
I would love to talk Rakim too. And we think about next steps when it comes to Jay-Z's next albums, if he even does it.
Oh, this is where we're going.
I think what's going on, and I think, Jay-Z's a brilliant lyricist. Always will be. His mind is somewhere else, and as a lyricist, his mind's somewhere else. I think what Jay's been kind of trying to adjust to over the past 14 years, in my opinion, is the flow. He's trying to find a flow that connects with this era because he's always kind of updated his flow. You look surprised. Like, you think his flow's been on point? He's kind of been doing the talking flow. Andre's had the same thing.
That's kind of going back to the whole, remember when I told you I was in the barber shop and the barber was like, the Nasir album, he didn't like it because it was Nas's flow. It's like, what? It's like, what are you saying?
It wasn't Jay-Z. He hasn't had Jay-Z's flow. All right, let me say it like this. I don't think he's found a flow that he's comfortable with since American Gangster. Because I feel like even on the Blueprint 2, even though the songs were good, I feel like he was kind of adapting to what,
flow.
Yeah, and it was like when you listen to it now, you're like,
there's a lot of Yeezy on Blueprint.
Yeah,
Blueprint
it is.
3.
Even when you look at
Yeezy-ish.
songs like Off That, and it's like he's kind of trying to keep up with the times with it. Holy Grail, he had his moments where the flow was there, but the songs weren't good. And I think
flow is pretty tight on Holy Grail.
Yeah.
The album's awful, but his flow is tight.
Because even the song with Nas or whatnot, his flow is
BBC?
there.
Yeah. No, his flow is stupid on there.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's like, no, I mean, it's Jay.
I don't want to Picasso, not Picasso. No, he was doing a lot of that during Holy Grail. So I think he's trying to find a flow that he's comfortable with that's connecting.
I felt like the first time I felt him be disconnected really flow-wise, and it's crazy because I still enjoy the record. It's on Drug Dealers Anonymous. It's the first time that I heard him, I feel like, have to catch his wind on a record. He never used to have to do that. He used to just come in, bow. And that one was kind of like a build-up before he started getting into what you would call a top-notch level Jay-Z flow.
We talk about breaks, and we talk about
a God flow.
Yeah, and we talk about not recording all the time. I think those are the effects of that. And we've never, ever heard Jay in his prime not sitting out for more than 2-3 years. And so now that he's finally doing that, I think that whenever he does step to the mic, there's an adjustment.
Knocking some rust off.
Yeah, each time. So, and with that being said, I can see how the God Did verse is amazing, being that lengthy.
No.
I mean, just for the execution side of it, taking a break like that and being that lengthy, you know what I mean? But even there, the flow is kind of,
He's Jay-Z.
Yeah.
You don't get credit for doing shit you're supposed to do.
But you could be out of practice. We seen the great Michael Jordan go play baseball, come back, and was not Michael Jordan until he got back into practice. You know what I'm saying? I remember that. I remember watching 45 go out there and play the Knicks. It was a struggle. It was different.
Okay, so it's like 18 games left in that season. I'd say he probably flashed, though.
Yeah.
Like he was Michael Jordan for like 6 to 9 of those games, though.
Yeah.
So for about half those games, he was Mike.
But you could tell
and that's what happens when that's what I mean is like, okay, so the Michael Jordan analysis is kind of accurate, but a little bit off base from this perspective. It's like, oh, no, we haven't been seeing him flash That's the problem. It's like, no, there is no double nickel game. Remember the double nickel game with the 45 jersey on? Jay don't have that. There is.
I remember watching that game. I mean, it was a crazy game, but you could tell he was pushing it. You know what I mean? He made it happen, but it didn't come as easy as it normally did. I'll put it that way.
It never came as easy for him to score 50 points after.
He made it look easy. You talking about after the retirement?
It was never as easy for him to score 50 after the retirement. Go look at the games in which he scored 50 after retirement as opposed to before.
Yeah.
Like, you can just go look at the numbers and you'll see it wasn't as easy for him to score 50. It's like, well, he had been playing high-level basketball in the NBA for about 10 years straight at the highest level, and then he took 18 months off. It's like, nah, he ain't coming back and, dropping 50, like, 8 of the next, 20 games for you. That shit ain't happening no more. That's when you started seeing the fadeaway. And that's when you started seeing him apply, like, the mental aspect of the game, and you realize how brilliant he was as a basketball player. Like, we never really realized how intelligent he was as a basketball player until he couldn't go get 50 with ease anymore.
Well, that's why the longevity to me means a lot in your greatness. That's what Nas is showing right now. And I've always felt like Jay was showing that, all the way up until like American Gangster, you know what I'm saying? Blueprint 3 stuff.
Things are different now after this Nas and Hit Boy run.
It is.
So what looks like longevity does not look the same anymore.
Stephon Young with the super chat says, "What up, Mike and Coop? What up? What up? Appreciate y'all in the building. Thumbs up in the chat so we can get some more people in here." 36 Chambers says, "Pac on my block isn't lyricism. It's content and connection. Entendres, syllables, language, convention, and lyricism is lyricism to me. Storytelling is a factor, but not the biggest one in the lyrics debate. Where did we come with those? 36 Chambers. Like, when did that start?
Hold on. Then what does Chuck D and Ice Cube do, Mike?
They're just connecting.
What is KRS-One doing then, if that's the case?
He said it's content and connecting.
Because KRS-One's always been super lyrical, but never been an entendre rapper.
You're right.
KRS-One not a lyricist now?
Right.
Cool G Rap's not a big entendre rapper. He not a lyricist now? Kane's not a big entendre rapper. He's not a lyricist now?
Not to the level of Eminem.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, what are we doing?
Not to the level of Eminem.
What are we doing? Slick Rick's not a big entendre rapper.
Mad Max with the super chat says, LeBron and Magic are not better than Hakeem, Coop. Hakeem had Ralph. Hakeem, when Hakeem had Ralph, went to the chip and beat all of the great centers. No, LeBron James lost Max.
No, and specifically with Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson only played, 12 NBA seasons, and I believe played in 8 NBA finals.
That's insane.
And won 5 of them.
That's some Tom Brady shit.
So ain't nobody trying to hear that shit. When you go to that many NBA finals in such a brief amount of time, you can have great players around you. You're clearly the fucking reason. Because what were the Lakers with Kareem?
Yeah.
Because they're damn sure wasn't going on no finals run until Magic showed up.
Magic was amazing. Now,
and if you want some evidence, I believe the finals that he lost, he lost to the Sixers once, lost to the Celtics once, lost to the Bulls once. But that Bulls finals, I believe, Kareem's not there.
All of those guys, all those are all-time great teams that he lost to.
Literally.
Yeah. Even the Bulls team is a three-peat team.
Yeah, he literally, only time he lost in the finals was like, first of all, he lost to arguably the greatest team ever in the 86 Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
The 83 Sixers were probably a top 10, 15 team. Same with the 91 Bulls. So
Straight up.
Literally only lost
to the best. Great teams.
Like, to the best. Like, as in when he didn't have an all-time great team, he lost to one.
Yep. Mad Max of the Super Chat says...
5 and 4, Mike. He went to 9 finals because they lost to the bad boy Pistons.
Yep.
He went to 9 finals in 12 years. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We got it backwards.
9?
Went to 9 in 12 years.
That's insane.
Literally, Mike, from 80 to 91, he played in 9.
That's insane.
Noah Keem's not better.
Mad Max of the Super Chat says, the flow Hove needs to do is that Jazz-O flow. I don't know. I think that flow's kind of dated, in my opinion. And I think what Jay's trying to do is not have a dated flow. Like, I think he could easily go out there and rap like he did on Reasonable Doubt. That probably just comes natural. But I think what he's been trying to figure out for this next run, like what new flow can he adapt to or latch on to that's going to be natural for him? You know what I mean? Like he did in the 2000s. Because look at how he changed his flow from Reasonable Doubt era to Volume 1, which is kind of an evolution of that flow, to what he ended up doing on Volume 2, Volume 3. And then in the 2000s, you kind of got that Philly flow coming in, what he did on the Black Album. He's constantly changing flows, and I don't think he has one right now that he's comfortable with.
I think flow-wise, Pusha T's doing a lot of the things he would be doing had he stayed active. Because people understand, it's like Pusha changes his flow every album too, Mike. It's like the way he's flowing on Daytona is not the way that he's flowing.
No, you're right.
On Until It's Almost Dry. It's not the same flows. He pulled out a different bag of flows. And so I guess that would be the closest comparison that I could think of. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, Pusha made his flow more choppy on this last album. You know what I'm saying? And he made the bars more like spaced out. You know what I mean? Like he didn't flip and rap and whirl as much. He kind of pierced and kind of dove in and out more.
Yeah.
Like 1-900 Call My Bluff. You know what I'm saying?
You think it's something to what I'm saying?
When you say it like that, yes, just be mindful of it because it sounds a little crazy to say, yeah, Jay needs some new flows. It's like, oh.
No, I'm not saying that he needs some. I mean, I think he's looking for the one that he's impressed with himself. I'm sure he could pick up on any flow like he did on Neck and Wrist.
I think he's in a tight spot, actually.
What you mean?
I mean, as much as whatever he drops is going to get notarized, he's not rapping at you-know-whose level. It's going to be like, I guess the guys on the other side were right. He does stand something to lose by dropping. I think people keep forgetting that.
Well, if he doesn't drop, then they'll just keep putting him at number one anyway. So it's like they're incentivizing him to stay at home. Because you know what? If Complex and all these other publications were to put Nas ahead of him like they should, then he might come outside. But now he ain't really got to because
that's what I'm saying. It can only hurt him.
Exactly. Mad Max with the Super Chat says, Pac, Me and My Girlfriend is based off of the Nas song. Big did have suicidal thoughts if we're talking about conceptual lyrics. You got me defending Big, a MC I hate. You don't hate Big. Come on, man. Max, you're from New York. Peter Parks in the Super Chat says, what's up, guys? Do you think lyrics have to be complex? Because I don't. Lyricism can be simple. What I like to say about that, Peter Parks, that's the Eminem rule. I think that lyrics, you had all kind of rules once, we start breaking that down. I think lyricism can definitely be simple. Mad Max of the Super Chat says, you give Hakeem a healthy Ralph, Magic don't make the finals 9 times. Mike H with the Super Chat says, Kobe is the only player to repeat without a top 75 player on his team. Who keeps putting that stat out there? Because you know what, man?
You know who did it first? This guy named Hakeem Olajuwon. What top 75 player is playing on the back-to-back championship Rocket teams exactly, Mike? And there's not even a Pau Gasol on those teams.
They're going to talk about Drexler. This is the thing, man. I don't like people saying that because Pau Gasol is a very good player.
How about this? When Kobe
they're great. Let's just keep it a buck.
How about this? When Kobe won his championship with Pau Gasol, Gasol was a better player at this point in his career than Drexler was when the Rockets won their championship. It's not even conversational.
Of course. I don't like people shitting on Gasol because it's not true, man.
And Kobe's third best player, Lamar Odom. There was no Lamar Odom floating around that Houston Rockets team. People need to stop that. This is what I mean about the Olajuwon thing, Mike.
I think it's revisionist history when you think about the Gasol thing because people who say that couldn't have been watching basketball in that period. I remember when they made that trade, I was like, how the fuck is this trade going down?
This happen?
Exactly.
Hold on.
I wasn't sitting here like, oh, man, Gasol, he's going to be nothing.
Mike,
no, I knew Gasol. He was a perennial all-star. He was rookie of the year. Gasol was already, he was proven. He was just playing in Memphis.
He was, how about this? Kevin Garnett had taken a step down from the top-notch player that he was. Him and Paul Gasol were about a comp, Mike.
Yeah.
It was about a comp.
Yeah.
Like, they was both good for about 22 and 9.
And the length.
KG's a better defensive player in, like, setting up your defense. But, yeah, he wasn't, like, too far off from KG.
The length that Gasol had
what I'm
and
saying.
the skill set that he had, the fundamentals he had, his shooting percentage, his free throw percentage, he was the perfect fit. That's what they wanted. This wasn't some guy that's like, you know what, we'll take it and we'll figure it out.
He could score on Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
He really didn't have many flaws because all he had to do was put his hands up. I
think bulk was his only problem. Like, if he would have been
But they had Bynum. So he didn't need
and they
that.
had Odom.
Yeah. So he didn't need to play big.
Like, why are people acting like Kobe carried that team? That team was great.
That team was really
That team
good.
is great.
I watched it.
I watched it
because
happen.
you know what? There was a very, very talented team over there in Denver, and I saw this Laker team take every second chance point.
Yeah, this man.
Because they had 3 7-footers out there with Kobe, and if you missed the basket, these guys are getting the ball back.
They literally bullied everybody, Mike. And if the game was close, you had Kobe. It's like, fuck, that was good. They had 3 7-footers.
Yeah.
And if the game was close, you had Kobe.
Exactly.
That's not just okay. That's called championship team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stop acting like that team was just okay or like Kobe did something.
And Kobe was great. No disrespect, but you know what I'm saying? Like, he had
Kobe
a squad.
was supposed to win a couple of those rings, Mike. Why people acting like he wasn't supposed to win?
I agree.
Yeah, he was supposed to win with that team.
Well, who was supposed to beat him? Orlando?
Unhealthy Boston? Stop that.
Stephon Young with the super chat says,
shit, why?
If you let New York tell it, every MC is better than Tupac.
That's where that whole lyrical East Coast bias started. I told you think I'm joking, Mike. It was never every great rapper before. I think Rakim changed some things lyrically, and we'll talk about that. But it's like all those guys had a message.
Mm-hmm.
Even Kane and KRS's names had intelligence and content too. And knowledge reigned supreme over nearly everybody.
Mm-hmm.
King Asiatic, no one's equal. Nobody's equal.
Mm-hmm.
Like even their names had depth to them.
The 5% Nation is incredibly pivotal in hip hop, and I think in the
Slick Rick was still a top 10 rapper before he was locked up. He wasn't called no lyricist.
I think in Hip Hop 50, one of the things that's really been missing, and a lot of things have been missing, but I don't think people talk enough about how influential the 5% Nation was and still is in hip hop culture.
Wu-Tang, Public Enemy,
Rakim, yeah, Brand Nubian.
Kane.
Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? Like AZ.
Older Jay-Z.
Yeah, AZ.
You
know, exactly. You know, I heard Tariq Nasheed is actually doing a documentary on hip hop, and I know he was speaking a lot about 5% Nation and its influence. And I know some of our followers were like, you know, y'all should interview Tariq about this hip hop documentary. I sent him an email today, so you know. Hopefully we get a response. I'm very interested in how this how this documentary is going to shape out. What were we saying?
Production team on the spot right quick. We ready for some live stream interviews?
Yeah. We can do that.
I need to reach out to JanSport Jay's artist, AJ Snow.
Okay.
Yeah. We need to get Snow on here.
But it's man, tell Tariq Nasheed thing, you know what I'm saying? We hollering at him and according to hip hop.
We hollering at everybody.
Love to do an interview about this documentary because I saw that he was linking up with Coke LaRock too. So, you know, some people who don't really get spoken to a lot. And I think that's important. Mad Max's super chat says, Mike, my GOAT is Pac. My number 2 is Nas. You don't know the fist fights that I've had over Big. Big was great. But, you know, I think that Mad Max stylistically, I don't want to say you look for substance more because Big did have substance. But not as much substance as those guys. I'll put it that way. Jadarian with the super chat says, reasons, Porsches and No Names Sundial are possibly top 5 albums of the year. Great listens. We got to get on those records. Porsches and No Names, yeah, okay. Yeah, we got to get on those because I've been hearing about that verse that Jay Electronica spit too. Jay Short with the super chat says Tim Duncan was 3 championships without a top 75 player, and his first Robinson had a bad back. But I guess he don't get enough swag. He ain't got enough swag, right?
No. Well, I've told you you could make an argument that you could put him ahead of Kobe and Shaq. But that makes me think about a king.
The top 75 player thing because some people got jerked in that top 75.
He never had
thing too.
Shaq and Kobe had each other. Tim Duncan never had somebody of that comparability.
Yeah, now I can see if we're talking about not having a perennial all-star, like Tim Duncan had perennial all-star.
But did he have another MVP? That's what I'm saying. Kobe and Shaq, no. Those are MVPs playing on the same team.
People do know Kawhi Leonard won an MVP for the Spurs, right? Didn't Tony Parker win one in the finals?
First of all, Tim Duncan won 3.
Yeah.
The one Tony Parker won, Tony Parker deserved. He was the best player on the court. The one Kawhi Leonard won, he did not deserve.
You don't think so?
No.
Who you think should have got that?
The guy that's won 3.
Huh.
The guy that
I'm gonna go back and check
the guy that defensively actually made what Kawhi did that everybody kept raving about possible, because people are like, he's stopping LeBron. It's like, no, he's not. He's just fading him to Tim Duncan in the post.
No, we do see that in the NBA a lot. Whoever guards LeBron, and their team wins, they end up with the Finals MVP.
That's not how that works, though. It's like LeBron averaged like 28 points a game, and it was actually like Tim Duncan's interior defense that stopped LeBron from going to the hole, not Kawhi.
You know, I say what I say about Steph, man, but
so you average 15. The other guy averages 28, and the guy that's stopping him in the interior, that's one of the greatest defensive players ever, one of the greatest, that guy's not the MVP because he's not putting up the 25 and 15 numbers that he used to put up.
Well,
there's a little ageism going on with that MVP.
You know, I say the stuff I say about Steph, but Iggy shouldn't have won that Finals.
No,
MVP.
He shouldn't have.
Now that was just wrong.
Yeah,
that was wrong on all levels.
I mean, you want to know what it was, though? I mean, and I'm gonna tell you what. This is what I mean. How people don't forget stuff. I think it's the fact that Kyrie busted his ass in Game 1 like that. I think that stayed.
No, it was Dellavedova.
No. I'm talking about Game 1.
Oh yeah, before Kyrie got hurt.
Before the decap, he was busting his ass.
But when Dellavedova did that in a couple games too, that kind of did something to him too.
I don't think it was that. It's like like Kyrie, when him and Kyrie was like 1-on-1 in that Game 1, Kyrie was giving him work. And I don't know if I've seen him catch work like that. He was catching that work that night because it was like a 1-on-1 situation. Kyrie was giving him work.
Esquire with the super chat says
they would have got swept if Kyrie said he stayed healthy.
I don't like the ifs. I don't like the ifs.
They wouldn't have won no damn games.
Esquire with the super chat says, as a long life Laker fan, Gasol was highly skilled, but calling him dominant was a stretch. He was never an MVP caliber player. He never won a playoff game, not series, before coming to the Lakers. Who was on his team? I mean, because that Memphis team was bottom of the barrel.
I mean, he was.
What did he do?
Hold on. He was consistently second or third team All NBA, which made him a top 10 to 15 player, though.
He was an All-Star before playing with the Lakers, right?
Yeah, I think he was Rookie of the Year too.
He was Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah. So that's why I'm saying people be acting like Paul Gasol wasn't a great player. Yeah. It's like I'm not saying he was Tim Duncan or Hakeem Olajuwon, but it's like, no, he's a great player.
Yeah, people are acting like he didn't do anything until he came to the Lakers.
No, he was a great player.
His team just wasn't good.
I told you, we were all looking like
we could do that.
Fleeced.
We could say the same thing, Esquire, about Anthony Davis. Because when Anthony Davis was in New Orleans, he did nothing, right?
I'll take Paul Gasol over Anthony Davis.
Me too. Gritty with the super chat says,
Paul Gasol gonna play 75 games.
Yeah, he's not gonna go out there and
and he's gonna play well in the finals.
Yeah,
no shade.
Gritty with the super chat says Jay is lyrical, but he saw it wasn't lucrative. That sounds like a bar. Are y'all out here writing rhymes for Jay or something? Jay was lyrical, but it wasn't lucrative. It's a good one. It's a good one.
His whole aura.
Jarv said we don't know ball. Shout out to Jarv. I want to see your MC list in New York, Jarv. We gonna get your opinion.
Jarv said we don't know ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, more Knick fan talk. What the fuck do they know? He's a Knick fan.
Mad Max to the super chat says Coop is lying on Kawhi. Locked Bron. He said Kawhi locked Bron up.
He ain't locked shit up. LeBron averaged 28 points.
He was stripping him. Pause. Frustrating him. Bron knows it even now. When they play Kawhi, he locks him up. I do remember Kawhi locking your boy Durant up, and then he got hurt, and then OKC.
What are you talking about? When?
I think he was still in San Antonio at the time. You remember that series where he had the clamps on Durant, and then he got hurt, and then everything went the other way.
Mike, here you go telling lies. Let's go ahead and get this straight. This is the OKC Durant or Golden State?
This is the OKC Durant, I believe.
San Antonio. No, Mike.
Stephon Young with the super chat says,
if memory serves me, OKC has been down to San Antonio 2-0 twice and came back and whooped that ass 4 straight games on 2 separate occasions. I don't
But
know
Kawhi
what the
went
hell you're
down.
talking about. Not both times, Mike.
Might have been the second time.
What about the last time they really played was in the finals before Durant got hurt, and Durant was, I don't know, 5 for 6, and every last point was on Kawhi. Y'all be making shit up.
Stephon Young with a super chat says Cavs healthy was sweeping the Warriors. Hell yeah, Coop. Esquire with a super chat says, look at Bynum and Odom's career without L.A. Bynum missed 90 games from 08 to 10. In 2010, Kobe hit 6 game winners. I remember that season. And there was only 7-game difference between the 1st and 8th seed. That year, L.A. was deep, but not a dynasty. It felt like it, though. But
Mike, the Spurs were the 2 seed. The Spurs were the 2 seed, and they had home court. They lost 4-2 in 2016. Mike, in 2014, guess what? Same damn thing. You want to see some numbers? Let's look at some numbers. No. Let's look at some numbers, Mike. You want to look at the numbers? Hold on. I'm about to go game by game stats. This shit be wild how y'all be making history up. Let's see.
We're going to talk some hip-hop in a second, too, after Coop gets through these numbers.
Oh, what do you know? Game 4, Kevin Durant, 41 points.
Wasn't Kawhi out by then?
No. Game 6, Kevin Durant, 37 points. When did Kawhi get hurt?
I thought it was like game 1 or something.
You're talking about against Golden State.
Oh, that's what that was.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Kawhi in 2016. In 2014, Kevin Durant busting that ass. You want to see Kevin Durant?
Kawhi wasn't totally there yet. I'm talking about when he arrived.
won a Finals MVP. What are you talking about? By 2014 and 2016, he had won a Finals MVP, right? So he had arrived, and Kevin Durant was busting that ass.
Darius Campbell with the super chat says, LeBron got his points in garbage time. Remember, they got blown out by a record margin. Jay Short with the super chat says, all you can do to be considered a great lyricist is breathe on 90s East Coast albums.
Mike, in those 6
Folks
games,
got Papa Wu, Pete Rock, and the Mad Rapper over Pac. Shaking my head.
Mike, in those 6 games, you know Kawhi Leonard wasn't the leading scorer on his team in the playoffs one of those times? In 6 games against the Oklahoma City Thunder in 2016, he wasn't the leading scorer on the fucking team one time.
Are you taking Kawhi over Gasol?
Yes, but only because of defensive purposes. But ain't no playing no damn defense against LeBron James and Kevin Durant and getting credit for it. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know, man. Overall,
you can't stop.
I might take Gasol.
Mike, you might.
I
Maybe
might.
when it matters.
Overall,
but what I'm
I
just
might.
trying to say is like this whole Kawhi thing and like this whole, he be stopping Durant, he be stopping LeBron. It's like, no, he don't. They be busting his ass, Mike. And they've been busting everybody else's ass, too. There's some players you can't stop. There's some players you cannot stop. There is no stopping LeBron. There is no stopping Kevin Durant.
No, it isn't.
There's not.
Esquire with the super
Kawhi.
chat.
This shit is stupid.
Esquire with the super chat says Kevin Love averaged 26 and 13 before coming to Cleveland, but he didn't have an impact on winning. Same with Gasol. Great talent, but he learned to win
I'll
in
take
L.A.
Gasol over Kevin Love. Definitely.
Of course.
Definitely.
Jay Short with the super chat says nobody's saying nothing about Mike getting garbage time stats, getting smoked by the Celtics early in the Bad Boys in the playoffs. Double standard.
Garbage time stats. Are you going crack? He's the best player on the team. He's the only player on the floor that makes it competitive. What are they talking about? Orlando Woolridge? Charles Oakley? That's not beating Bird, Parrish, and McHale or Magic Worthy and Kareem.
You got to get John Paxson the ball, man.
Or fucking Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars,
Yeah.
Vinnie Johnson, Adrian Dantley, James Edwards, John Sally, Dennis Rupp. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Right.
no. You're not beating teams like that.
Yeah.
With Orlando Woolridge and Charles Oakley. Talking about garbage time. People don't know their history, Mike. It's that New York shit. They've been Knicks fans too long. They've been subjected to Patrick Ewing, Latrell Sprewell, and Allen Houston. That's the best that they got. They don't have much to strive for, Mike.
Who's the best Knicks player of the past 40 years?
40?
Uh-huh. Well, period. Let's just say all time. Is it Patrick?
Clyde Frazier.
Think it's Frazier? Okay.
It's Frazier. Frazier comes to mind. I briefly want to say Carmelo. I feel like Carmelo's better than Ewing in a vacuum, but Ewing did more.
Yeah.
But Ewing had Pat Riley.
He did.
That helps. Ask Miami.
Yeah.
Who has a franchise, did absolutely nothing until Pat Riley showed up, and now they have 3 banners. and about 7 conference finals sitting up.
Well, you know, they were new.
Which is more shit than the New York Knicks have in the entire history of their organization. The Miami
Us
Heat,
too. I'm not just
no.
that.
The Hawks are better than the Knicks too, because at least we've had, you know, at least there's actually like we have a reason for why people don't perform well down here.
Why is that?
You know, nightlife, Mike, afterlife.
Well, I mean, New York got a nightlife too.
It's not like Atlanta. New Yorkers will tell you that. A New Yorker will tell you the nightlife down here is different. Because how about this? One of the people from my job, he just came down from New York, and he was like, "Yo, Coop." He's like, "It's different down here." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I might have to stay a little longer." I was like, "I know why. It happens every time, brother. Don't worry about it." Gave him a little pound. You enjoy the streets tonight.
Enjoy the streets tonight.
Enjoy the streets.
Plenty
out here.
I was gonna ask, did you see that meme out there where they had MC New York as the #1 New York MC?
Who?
MC New York.
Who?
Tupac Shakur. It's funny because
it's funny how they want to claim him.
Yeah.
It's funny how he ain't claim them.
It's funny though, like, you know, for the people who want to claim Pac as the New York MC, he's funny. Not on this list.
It's funny, on my block, he's literally shouting out blocks in New York, Baltimore, and California.
Should he have been on this list?
If he is, the list is totally different because we're going to slide some guys.
What I'm saying, should he have been on this list? I mean, because they claim him.
I'm gonna go.
Sometimes.
I'm gonna go to what Rakim says. It's not where you're from; it's where you're at. Kind of like how Prodigy is from Hempstead, but he really claims Queensbridge. Well, Pac might be from New York and Baltimore. Okay. Well, what does he claim? He really claims the Bay Area. He really claims Cali. And
no, I'm with that.
So
I agree.
So
I was just playing devil's advocate out here.
Yeah.
Now,
and plus, New Yorkers have enough great rappers. They can't have Tupac. Tupac didn't want them. All right.
Yo, I think. All right, one of the big problems I have with the list is the fact that people had a problem with Diddy being at 48, but didn't have a problem with Cardi B being at 25.
Diddy's not on my list, and neither is Cardi B.
No, but I'm just saying. Let's examine this real quick. Is it about having writers? They both had writers, right? Puff got like what, 5 albums, 6 albums? Does Cardi B have an album better than No Way Out?
He got more writers than he do albums too.
Does Cardi B have an album better than No Way Out?
Very few people have an album better than No Way Out.
Does she have a verse better than What I Want to Do? Want to be ballers, shot callers, brawlers.
I mean, that's
who be dipping in the bins with the spallers. On the loke from the Jake and the Taurus, trying to get my hands on some grands like Horace. Yeah, living the raw deal. 3-course meal, spaghetti, fettuccine, and veal. But still, everything's real in the field. So people are outraged by him being at 48 and not Cardi at 25? It's
very problematic.
It is, right? It's interesting. I thought that was interesting. Like, okay, everybody's picking at Puff being at 48, but if we really look at Puff's career.
They're both off my list.
Yeah, I get that. But I'm just saying. If we're not even factoring in having writers and stuff like that, like, I think Puff being at 48 isn't crazy. I think that Mace being behind Cardi is crazy too. Actually, I think they got Cardi in front of Cool G Rap and stuff too.
It's disrespectful. I put Cool G Rap closer to where he belongs on my list.
But again, if we're gonna go pound for pound though, what does Cardi actually have over Puff? He has sold more records. He's got better verses, got better albums, he got more hit songs.
Got better writers.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
When Jada Kiss and Sauce Money are your writers, you know?
And Mace.
And Big.
Big too. I want to give Mace his props.
Kim probably gave him some bars too, Mike.
Well, many of them out there would think that Kim had people giving her bars in that time
Just
period.
Big.
So I don't want to open up that Pandora's box.
Let's not hate. Kim wrote her best shit after he was gone. The end.
I feel like Mace is kind of the identity of Bad Boy Records, of Bad Boy Entertainment. Like when I think, Big's big. Big stands on his own. When I think of Bad Boy Entertainment, what image comes in your mind?
See, it's kind of funny because I feel like it changed so fast for them because to be honest with you, my early image of Bad Boy, you really want to know the truth?
Craig Mack?
Nope. Can't You See video with Big and Puff in Total. That was
very jiggy. You're right.
That was Bad Boy to me with Total in the leather suits. They're in what park? They're in Central Park. Big's in the all white. You know what I'm saying? Total's in the all black. The lights are all dim. Puff is talking shit. Slow down, nigga. You're killing them. It's like who them Octane got them. No, that's everything Bad Boy was to me. It's the old James Brown sample. It's the R&B singing. It's big with the flows.
Okay.
It's the whole jiggy look. It's even the dance. Remember, everybody was doing the little dance he was doing in the video. That's Bad Boy to me. So
I agree.
So when you're
And
saying,
you know who the
Mace-
other person is? Now that you mentioned that, dang, what's her name from Total? The dark skin one, Pam.
Keisha? Hold on.
No, it was
Pam.
Keisha.
Yeah, no, it's Keisha. Keisha's the dark skin.
Yeah. The way she came in that One More
Yeah.
Chance video, like that's that Bad Boy.
That's
shit
what I'm
right
saying.
there.
That's Bad Boy.
Yeah, I give you that.
It's like,
and when Mace came, it was like an evolution of that. It kind of made that a little bit brighter.
That's what I mean. It's just like, oh well, they had gotten some money, Mike.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the real Bad Boy is them going to shoot the video in Central Park at night with Big in all white, Total in the black leather.
Total's important.
Puff was a visionary.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like those
Still
images
is.
were important.
Yeah.
Like for real, nobody had ever made an ad lib famous until he did that on Can't You See. There's no more famous ad lib outside of Flavor Flav than Slow Down, Nigga, You're Killing Them. It's the most famous ad lib ever on a song up to its point, outside of Fuck Him and John Wayne.
Yeah. Esquire with the super chat says, many think that Joey Badass should have made it too. In my opinion, he's the most he's made consistently good music, but has never eclipsed the level he reached in 1999.
He didn't make my list.
We talk about Joey Badass all the time. Did he make their list? I don't remember seeing him.
I don't think so. But I also feel like they made some glaring omissions that I corrected for them.
That's a problem.
No, it's not really.
That Joey's not on there?
It's not really.
I mean, for them it is.
Is it?
I think Joey,
because
I remember seeing Joey rhyming out of high school, and there were big hopes for Joey coming out the gate. I remember that. I don't think that he underachieved per se. You know who could have really been great for Joey?
Well, it's still going on.
Puffy.
Yes.
Puffy could have been that great balance for Joey.
He wouldn't have a soul and he'd be broke, but yes, it'd be great for everything
What do you
else.
mean?
It'd be great for everything else.
I'm saying as far as musical direction.
Oh, yes. That's what I mean. Everything else, absolutely. It's like, yeah.
I think Joey got it all, honestly. I don't know. See,
Actually,
Joey is one of those things. I don't really know what Joey's missing.
I do. Consistently great material. What do you mean?
You don't think that he makes material that the people that rock with him rock with?
How that last album rock, Mike?
It was cool to me, but his fans loved it. Like, I think he's kind of like in a currency chamber as far as like feeding his base.
Okay, so his ceiling is way higher than that chamber you're talking about.
You think so? Okay. I mean, I think that's fair.
Ceiling's higher than the chamber you're talking about.
Where do you think the lack comes from? Is the production?
It's just not connecting, Mike.
Why?
I don't know. What's his biggest song? Like, if Joey Badass were to leave rap right now, Mike, what would be his legacy?
For me, it was the first joint he put out.
When was that?
That was nearly 10 years ago.
The Defense Rest, Mike. Not to be funny, 'cause I'm not trying to be, but it's like, if
I
the
don't
best
know.
shit you made was 10 years ago, and you haven't, like, what's been comparable to?
This is my thing with Joey, and I said this when he came out, and I liked him. I
like him too.
I think that
got nothing to do with the price of tea in China.
I think that him trying to cater to the OGs
no, I don't think
kind of was detrimental to him in the way that he couldn't really find his own sound because it was almost chasing a 90s type of swag.
How about
you know what I'm saying?
ASAP or Joey Badass?
ASAP.
Okay.
No. Okay. We underrate ASAP.
Okay.
Very heavy. I can't wait to get to your list. Let me get to these super chats and we'll get to your list. Jay Short with the super chat says, Pac is not an East Coast rapper. He had the same cadence as the Bay Area, great rapping Forte. Which makes sense because Forte had a lot of influence, for sure.
Rapping Forte?
Rapping Forte, the man. Drake out here quoting Forte. Did I miss some super chats? I feel like I did. Hold on. I think I got one here. Oh, no. That was Esquire talking about Joey. Yeah. They say Joey doesn't have any memorable records.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I think Joey could have easily, and I'm not saying make the records that the Lost Boys made per se, but he could easily have those kind of memorable hit records.
So I'm going to tell you something. Somebody who was about to make my list, and I'm glad you brought him up too, Mike. You've been in my head a little bit today. Mr. Cheeks didn't make my list. I put Mr. Cheeks, and I almost put him at 50. I put Nori in instead. Nori has more hits than
He
Cheeks.
does. I like Cheeks better. If you ask
I
me
like Cheeks
who's
better
the
than
better
Nori.
rapper,
Cheeks is a better rapper
Yeah.
than Nori. But here's what I'm telling you is that, well, if Cheeks can't make my list, then Joey definitely not making the list because Cheeks got Renee, got Jeeps, Coops, Bingers, in the Bins. Music makes me high. He's got the have him saying, I'm sorry, Miss Jackson.
Yeah,
Turn
lights, camera,
around, let me
action.
see something.
Yeah.
Fucking with me. For
So,
real,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
gonna be something.
So
right.
you're telling me
and you telling me that
you're
Joey
telling me
deserves to be
that
on the top 50?
Nori would beat Mr. Cheeks in a versus?
He would. He would.
Huh.
Yeah.
How?
No, Nori would, because he's got Nori stuff, Capone and Noriega stuff. You're right. He can. He got some stuff, Mike. He does.
What about the Queen Pen joint? A party ain't a party.
No,
till it's
that's
ran all
on the.
through,
No. For about 7 or 8 joints, Cheeks is gonna throw some haymakers.
Until he from
But
the cab.
like remember Nori on Nothing? That's why I'm saying Nori's got Nothing. He's got Grimy.
Nothing is.
He's got.
Nothing's a hit, and you know I'm
no,
a
Nothing's
Neptune.
hard. Nothing's hard, Mike. That's one of Neptune's better beats for that era, actually.
Da, da, da.
No,
Hey
I'm at the White Boy
you're an
Club. I'm buying
all-star.
the bar. No, Mike, that matters. Saying, hey, now you're an all-star. Go one.
I feel
came
like
to party.
you know
Your girl was looking at me.
No,
that shit
the
hard.
hook's
That
dope.
shit goes.
No, the hook's
Mike.
dope.
Nothing goes.
No,
Mike.
the hook is dope.
Super Thug, Body in the Trunk.
Yeah.
Banned from TV.
Bad for TV.
Nore.
Mm-hmm.
I Love My Life with Carl Thomas. Bloody Money Part 1, 2, and 3. No, Nori got shit.
You know what, man? I would take that challenge.
I wouldn't do it if I was
Which
you.
one are we doing next?
I'm leaving with the firm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which one are we doing next?
We're doing Wu-Tang and Tribe, Mike.
We're doing Wu-Tang and Tribe.
Oh, hold on. I thought we were doing Clips.
I was going to say. I thought that was the
first.
one we were doing first. What do y'all want us to do?
My Wu-Tang list ready, Mike.
Do y'all want us to do Wu-Tang and Tribe, or do y'all want us to do Migos and Clips?
Can't wait, Mike.
Whatever the people want.
Mike, I already know.
I personally want the Tribe one.
I already know
I want
what
the
record
Tribe
I'm starting off the Wu-Tang Tribe one with, Mike. And I'm going to play a record that's not on Enter the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers. It's going to let you know that you're going to lose. It's going to let you know that you're going to lose.
Esquire with the super chat
Don't believe
says,
you're about to make me do Tribe like this.
Esquire with the super chat says, I agree with Coop. Joey has the same problem as Crit. They live in the shadow of their golden age inspirations. 1999 is a classic, though. It's interesting. I think they were managed by the same management company, too. Cause the first, no, I'm talking about Crit and Joey.
Oh.
I remember the first time I heard Joey was through Crit's page, I believe. So for him to say they got the same problem that Crit has, which one do y'all want us to do? Y'all want us to do the they said Mike trying to hold a L. Y'all want us to do the Migos versus Clips, or do y'all want us to do that Tribe versus Wu?
Got out the mall, yo, the sweet cat rocking the fade. In my face, asking him if he see the grenade. I would have let him see it, but the way he says chill, I said, nah, beat it.
Cinematic Music Group. Thank you.
Steph told me about
what you got in there?
Have your little sip, Mike. Go ahead. Help yourself. Help yourself. Yeah, help yourself.
You pour it out real quick. Yeah, I can't reach over there. All right, appreciate it. It's been a trying week. Salute, sir. All right, let's get to your list.
We starting backwards or forwards, Mike? Where are we going?
Let's go 50 through what? 41.
41.
Zuri Frazier with the super chat says, while Pac wasn't an East Coast rapper, he and Corrupt, shouted out Philly, can hop into an New York / East Coast bag when the song required. Yes, they definitely could. Pac could do whatever he wanted.
Absolutely.
All right, what we got? 50.
50. I got Nori, Mike.
Nori 50.
I got Chubb Rock at 49, Mike.
I like that.
I got Run at 48, Mike.
Hopefully DMC's on your list.
He is. I got Heavy D at 47.
Okay.
I got DMC at 46, Mike. I went back and listened to some Run DMC yesterday, Mike, and you're right. DMC's a better rapper than Run.
Yep.
Not by a lot, but about the memorability, Mike.
Yep.
Most of the memorable stuff came from DMC.
It did.
So even though Run had the bigger name and rep and even literally got more run in the group, DMC is the superior rapper. Take that. 45, Fat Joe. 44, OC. 43, Sadat X. 42, Talib Kweli. And 41, Buckshot.
Explain the OC thing. You got him over Fat Joe?
I do. He's just a far superior MC as a lyricist, Mike.
Okay.
I think people forget Word Life, Jules.
Okay.
He just got too many bars, Mike. His wordplay is top notch. His ethos is top notch. He's just one of those guys. He came along in that era where Big and Bad Boy took New York somewhere different, and he's one of those people I feel like got lost in the shuffle of it. But yeah, OC was great. And Grand Poobah didn't make my list because I always thought Sadat X was a better rapper than Grand Poobah.
Ooh, they're going to kill you for that one. I disagree with you.
I don't care what people say.
I totally disagree.
Y'all are talking about the voice. Y'all not talking about like the actual work. I'll take Sadat X over Poobah. Poobah didn't make my list. Sadat did.
Okay.
My list.
Yo list. Jermaine Johnson with the super chat says, Joey was the lead character in the Academy Award-winning movie, Two Distant Strangers, and still strangely couldn't galvanize and grow a mainstream base. I think he kind of has that Janelle Monáe issue, you know what I'm saying, where it's like, okay, you could be a dope artist and be talented there, but somehow the movie stardom shines over that. Jay Short with the super chat says, Mike, no disrespect to the Migos. I'm old, but I don't think the Migos, I don't think this Migos street cut hits out of the ATL like you think they are. I don't think they hit outside of ATL like you think they do. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm biased. Maybe I was just here when all that stuff was hitting, and when I play it, it's interesting, man. Whenever you and I do like a matchup like this, sometimes the things that are on paper that feel like they may work, in theory, once you press play, the shit sounds different.
No.
I know when I've, been had in a certain matchup. And I know when I got you, too. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, hold on, what was it? How about this, the whole death row thing? I was like, man, like this shit hurts. Like this is brutal.
I had a handful of spades.
So I was like, this is brutal.
One of my favorite moments, it was during our Patreon when we did the Timbaland and Neptune, and I started out with Trouble on My Mind. I was like,
yeah. How about
it's the blackout, Rory with the back out. That shit was.
How about this? How about this? I got something like that for you when we do the Wu-Tang thing. It's like, oh, Mike forgot this record runs like.
Fuck it, let's do the Wu-Tang thing. I don't care what the people say now, because I gotta defend Tribe. Gotta rock with Tribe. All right, where you at?
Do you have any thoughts about my first set? What do you think about Heavy D making the list?
I like Heavy D making the list.
I know his cousin Pete Rock had been saying that Heavy D wasn't getting enough love, and I actually agree with that sentiment. Mark.
Yeah, I think he could be even higher, honestly.
I'm about to say, I thought about putting him higher, but
I got Heavy D over Fat Joe.
I can't do that.
Why not?
Because impact does matter. And
I think Heavy D got more impact. I think that Heavy D held
Pun.
I think he held records on his own. Pun is his own thing. Like, that doesn't really count for Joe's. Like, I mean, it counts for his legacy.
That's part of it.
But not as an MC. I think that.
As an MC, how about this?
I think as an artist, I mean, if we want to do that, Heavy put Puffy on.
As an MC, very few MCs have improved the way Fat Joe improved in the 90s. Like, very few, like, in the history of rap.
I like Don Cartagena. I think that's his shining moment.
I do, too. Don Cartagena, My World. John Blaze, Crack Attack.
Yeah, no, that whole album.
Yeah, Don Cartagena's the shit.
What was the album that he came out with? I guess it was a while ago now, but it was in the 2000s. It was like The Dark Side or something like that.
I know what you're talking about.
That album was tight.
It was. No, Joe's made some stuff.
Yeah, and he got longevity. But I would put Heavy D's hits over Joe's.
Absolutely. In a second. Ready for me to go from?
Yeah, go ahead.
So 40 is Sean Price.
Hey.
39 Inspect the Deck, Mike.
Okay.
38 Pharoah Monch. 37 Melly Mel. 36 ASAP Rocky. 35 MC Light. 34 Nicki Minaj. 33 Ja Rule. 32 Kool Mo D. 31 Old Dirty Bastard.
So you got Nicki over Light?
You have
Explain.
to. No, you just have to, Mike. It's too much for Light.
You got Ja Rule over both of them?
You're damn right. Ja Rule's better than both of them.
Okay.
And low key, as far as making hip hop hits is concerned, Mike.
Okay.
Has more hip hop hits than Nicki. Has more hip hop hits than most people on this list.
Oh yeah, he got a lot of hits.
Got a lot of hits.
I mean, speaking of which, when
Joe
records. And Ja did their verses, it was very lopsided. I mean, honestly, I don't even think from a hit standpoint.
I think Ja won like 14 of those records, in my opinion.
Yeah. They said Deck is too high.
What, like he should be like further down?
Yeah,
Okay,
I
so
think
here's
so.
the thing
So
with Deck.
ASAP Rocky over
Yeah.
over Deck.
I mean, well, what's Deck's best album again? Okay, so you don't make high up on this list without. And when we get to Rakim,
Dex
I'm going to
made
talk about.
he's made some quality projects, but I think it's so late in the career that they kind of fall on deaf ear in that way. I mean, not for the fans.
Czarface projects are dope.
Yeah.
But he don't have an album like Long Live ASAP. I'm sorry. He don't.
Yeah.
He don't.
I think ASAP to me is
Love
probably,
him to death.
I think ASAP's probably one of the most underappreciated MCs in this era.
Deck is probably the only person. This is how cold his rhymes are, Mike. I think he's the only person that I really put on this list. Off the strength of verses that aren't on his albums. Like, that's what his verse game is like. Like, as a whole, collectively, like, for the duration. Like, on Into the Wu-Tang, Mike, he's arguably the third best rapper. He's probably the fourth best rapper on Enter the Wu-Tang. It's like the Jizz is the best rapper in Wu-Tang Clan on Enter the Wu-Tang. Let's not get that fucked up.
Yeah, he is.
Meth and Dirty are special.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, it's Deck and Ray. You know what I'm saying? So he's been top tier from the jump.
Into the 36 is a very interesting album because they were
different.
They made such a raw and incredible piece of work, and they weren't even really developed yet. And you could tell that GZA was the one that was developed. He was. I know y'all gonna kill me for this. I correlated to the Migos, right? I feel like Takeoff early on, he was kind of already where he always was. The rest of those guys needed to develop. And GZA was like that.
Even the GZA developed, though.
He did, but he was just far ahead of them.
Yeah, he'd been doing it longer. He'd been doing it longer.
Exactly.
He'd been more dedicated to the craft for longer.
You could tell.
You could tell he had a major release album already. You know what I mean? Like, they even talked about it. It's like, no. GZA was the one we all looked to. He had, put out, Killer Hills 10304 comes from Words from the Genius, Life of a Drug Dealer. They just redid it and made it better.
I told you about the time when Cujo Goody, he, hosted our mixtape back when I was in a rap group in the early 2000s. And to hear a rap veteran go in that booth, it just sounds different. Mm-hmm. Like, you had your friends go in there and rap and all that stuff. But when he got in there, you could tell this nigga knew what he was doing. Mm-hmm. And I think that's GZA on Into the 36. It's like
he's definitely the coach on the field. He's definitely the coach on the field.
These guys are doing it for the first time. They, probably doing a couple of takes or whatever. He's going in there. He sounds different. He's commanding.
His verse on Protect Your Neck might have been the best verse that year. The Wu was too slamming for these cold killer labels. Some ain't had hits since I seen Aunt Mabel. Be doing artist sin like Kane did Abel. Now that money's getting stuck to the gum under the table. That's what happens when you misuse what I invent. Your empire falls and you lose every cent for trying to blow up the scrub who had wattage that's as bright as a 20-watt light bulb. Should have pumped it when I rocked it. Niggas so stingy, they got short arms and deep pockets.
Raw Holmes with the super chat says J. Rue the Damager has arguably two classics. Nondescript, the super chat says special motherfucking Ed.
I thought about Special Ed today too.
Special Ed was special.
Special Ed was nice.
He was kind of a Snoop Doggy Dogg before Snoop. Like, I could tell Snoop probably was influenced by Special Ed to a degree.
I got it made. It's like probably one of Snoop's favorite records.
Probably.
I could totally hear it.
Even the swag was very,
the highest title.
Numero uno. Yeah. Like,
yeah.
They want us to do the Wu-Tang and Tribe. That won 79% to 20%. So.
Nobody want to hear them Migos records, Mike.
No, they don't. That's cool. And if nobody wants to hear them, then I'll keep them to myself. I'll play them in my headphones. Jay Short with the super chat says, why we have to play the what if game with every NY rapper who didn't become Jay? Papoose, Saigon, Cannabis. What if they just are who they are?
Right.
I like that what if. What if they just are who they are?
That's real, though. That's why I keep trying to tell you. It's like that potential shit. It's like, how old are we? Are we 14 or some shit?
So what if they just are who they are? It is what it is, right? What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. I think ASAP is underappreciated and as an MC. And I think it's because he didn't really take on that NY sound per se. Speaking of, New Yorkers.
Came up in a different era.
He did. And he didn't even have the support of New York radio to launch. He kind of went against the grain on that.
It's crazy. He's named after Rakim.
Mm-hmm. What he say on the what was the mattress remix? He was like, did backflips on the mattress, fuck mad chicks on the mattress. Where the magic happens on the mattress, 2 ratchet fat chicks on the mattress. It's like he does this stuff effortlessly. Even him on Magic or whatnot.
On Wave Gods.
Yeah, I was like, yo, this is gonna be
just
dope.
slid right in.
Even when I saw the feature, I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be dope.
Just slid right in, got it done.
Oh, we got this. We talking Wu-Tang stuff, man. We got the trivia game or whatnot.
Want to ask me a question?
Yeah, I want to ask a Wu-Tang question real quick.
Okay, that's cool.
But yeah, you go
taking
through the
all
list.
taking all Wu-Tang questions.
Taking all Wu-Tang questions. Oh, it's right here actually. I asked this question on a live the other day, and people struggle with it. And I want to see if you get this.
Okay.
All right. According to the Wu-Tang Clan on the song "Bring the Ruckus," who mastered the trick?
On Bring the Ruckus, who mastered the trick?
Yeah.
I know. Hold on. Ghostface, catch a blast of a hype verse. My Glock burst. Hurts. I come rough, tough like another can tuss. Fly like Egyptian must. Oh shit. Wu-Tang Clan.
You want a Kendrick Lamar question?
God no.
Got a Kendrick question here.
Quick damage a whole era. Hard knocks is on the fun kind. PLO style, hazardous, cause I wreck this dangerous. I blow spot. Illiterate type asshole. Songs going gold or doubt, and you'll watch a corny nigga fall. You're the fake and all that. I know it like it's yesterday. My clan wrote swoo. I guess it makes represent. And then there's Dex verse.
I think it's Jizza that said it.
Hold on. I'm more rugged than slave man boots. New recruits. I'm fucking up MC troops. I break loose. My Wu-Tang had fucking danger and more deadly than a stroke of an axe. Giving
Jay Short with
no, it's Deck. It's
Deck.
It is?
Okay.
It's Deck. Is it Deck? You tell me, is it Deck?
No, the trick is Nixon. Richard Nixon.
Trick just like Nixon. That's close.
Yeah.
Okay. Calls and okay, I forgot that part. Okay.
Jay Short with the super chat says, how is Fat Joe top 50 when he's a hit maker who is never the star on his own hit? Pun, Ja, Wayne, Remy, Nelly, etc.
Hate.
That's all you can say. Jermaine Johnson with the super chat says, fellas, have you ever heard of the Inspector Deck verse that Pac cut out from All Eyes on Me because it was just too damn good?
It was stellar.
It's fire. It was dope. But that shit wasn't fuck you losers while you fake jacks and make maneuvers. Like, nah, man, Method Man was special on that.
It was up there, Mike. Ooh, you want to know what? Hey, you want to know what I thought about today, too? This is some more just quick sidebar. Corrupt's performance on New York, Mike.
Yeah.
With Snoop on the hook, that might be the most underrated rap song nobody talks about, Mike.
Yeah, New York was the truth. I had that on tape back in the day.
Dog Food, I had Dog Food on tape too. It's like New York's been soft ever since. Mike, think about that shit.
He did that.
He did.
I mean, I know Snoop was the imagery of kicking over the buildings, but that was
too much.
Yeah, that was corrupt.
Think about it. He's taking the message shit and crushing the buildings. Too much. I serve too many people.
And when I start serving, there gonna be no secret. I'm gonna go listen to that.
That shit hard, Mike.
It is.
That shit great.
Gritty with the super chat says Buckshot was killing it like in 92 to 95. He was. Buckshot Shorty was the man. Jay Short with the super chat says Jizza was also the best rapper on Return to the 36 Chambers. Yeah, he was, of course. You know, he wrote most of it.
He wrote like 14 other records.
Before you get to the rest of your list, this is the according to hip hop trivia game,
ask
whatever. Yeah. I'm about to ask you a Kendrick Lamar question.
Oh, God.
And for the people who want to know how to get this card
the
game,
answer ain't money trees. I don't know.
Yeah, you can go to accordingtohiphop.com, click game, and it's right there, and it'll be at your door. But okay, okay, we got 3 questions of his right here. According to Kendrick Lamar on the song "Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe," look inside his soul, and what will you find?
Gold?
Yep, you got that one. According to Kendrick Lamar on the song "I," he prays that what doesn't go dry.
Every time he prays, I get worried, Mike. We're just gonna take the L on that one.
I know Esquire knows this out here. Esquire hates when I call him a Kendrick fan.
Mike, you know I don't be listening to no damn To Pimp a Butterfly.
Okay, holy water is the answer. According to Kendrick Lamar, this is an easy one, and we
Why
can
would he
move
be
on.
talking about holy water, Mike? Why is he talking about holy water in prayer?
According to Kendrick Lamar on the song "Humble," what just went viral?
Is what it? My left stroke just went viral.
Yep, it was the left stroke. So yeah, it's like a million of these, man.
Let's see that.
Hella cards. Yeah, got that.
Oh, these cards have improved. Great.
Yeah.
What's
It's a nice little drinking game.
Okay, what's Rakim's favorite dish? That's fish.
Mm-hmm.
How many rappers say bitch like him? There's got to be Too Short.
Oh, okay. How many rappers say bitch like Too Short? Is it 92?
93.
93 rappers and 12 comedians? Something like that. But yeah, you can go to accordingtohiphop.com, go click the game tab, and purchase these, and get it to the crib.
Where do you go if you want a cheap chick?
Freaknik.
Atlanta, Georgia. Look, I said this to an Atlanta native today. Not today, a few days ago, and she was offended. I'm like, yeah, I was like, this ain't like the place for like most men go to like find wives. She's like, what you trying to say? I was like, do y'all know what Atlanta women reputation is like in the rest of the nation? Like, she looked at me sideways. We should ask
our following. I don't know.
She looked at me sideways. I was like, don't act like you don't know.
Well, that's VH1's fault.
You too. No,
and
Mike.
Freaknik's fault.
No,
Is
Mike.
that Freaknik documentary still coming?
Mike, it's not Freaknik's fault.
Whose fault is it?
Mike, I'd like to quote Ludacris. You're doing hoe activities with hoe tendencies. Hoes are your friends. Hoes are your enemies.
With hoe energies to do what you do.
Y'all professional like DJ Clue.
Putting on my coattail. Why you think you take a hoe to a hotel?
Hotel everybody. Even the mayor. Look up in the sky for the hoes on there. Come on, player. Once a hoe, always.
And hoes never close. They open like hallways. And here's a hoe cake for your ho-ho crew. And everybody wants some.
Because hoes got to eat too. Can't turn a hoe into a housewife.
You know what? One of my
hoes don't
favorite.
Act right. There's hoes on a mission.
Hoes on the crack fight.
Hoes on the crack fight.
One of my favorite Ludacris lines when he took from a film, man, was when he was like, I'm an honest hoe, and all my hoes is honest. Luda make you brace yourself like orthodontist. We not sleeping on Luda, man. We know Luda got skills.
We know what the Atlanta women's reputation is, too.
Stephon Young with the super chat says, did y'all know Biggie had the beat for New York first? Zuri Frazier with the super chat says, does Mike Geronimo make the top 50? We'll get back to the list.
No.
Okay.
But back to the list.
Back to the list.
30, Foxy Brown.
I like that.
29, Mace.
I like that.
28, Pasunos. Plug One, Mike. Plug One didn't get no love. How a De La Soul rapper didn't make the top 50? How can they have arguably the best rap group catalog?
I'm glad you mentioned that.
And Plug One ain't get no love?
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah, Plug One.
Because you know what? All this De La Soul love that
it'd be fake.
Poured
it'd be fake
out,
love.
by the mainstream media.
It'd be fake love.
Yeah, once their catalog was available and once we lost Plug 2, all that De La Soul love, and y'all left Plug One, Pasta News off the list? How?
Mike, there's clear.
How?
Mike, I was looking at it. It's like, I don't even know. I mean, I have him at 28, and it's like, shit. I'm funny about it putting him right there because I don't think there's 27 guys necessarily better on the mic from New York.
Well, the
him.
one thing that he has against him is the Andre 3000 thing. But other than that, I'm with you.
No, he got way more bars than Andre, Mike. I'm sorry.
Well, he doesn't have many songs with just him.
Oh, right. He doesn't get busy for Dolo.
Yeah, he don't have like a solo album like
That's
that.
Fair.
Not that, like you said, he does way more rhyming than Dre does.
Right.
But I think they would just dedicate it to the group in the group aspect. That's why they stayed together so long.
27, I got Fab.
Okay.
26, I got Big L. 25, I got Big Pun. And so I drew a line at Fab because it's like I didn't know where Pun and L fit in. And this is not a disrespect to Fab. It's just he's not the MC that either of those two guys were. And I still feel like to this day that Capital Punishment and Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous is better than anything Fabulous has made. And so although he's had a great career, and I know what his mixtape game looked like, and I know what the bar work and the entendres look like, I wasn't comfortable putting him ahead of Big L and Big Pun. And that's kind of why Pun and L fell where they did. That was like the gap that I had where it's like, well, where do Pun and L really fall, like legitimately? And I think it's somewhere in that Fab. Pasanus. Like they fall in a funny territory because of what happened to them. So it takes somebody with some special circumstances. Like if Fab had one like truly undeniable classic album, he would probably be like 6 or 7 slots higher.
I want to know what our New York audience feels about that.
And if somebody bring up a goddamn mixtape, we gonna have a problem.
I want to know what our New York audience feels like.
Because I'm gonna tell you,
that.
like you tell me about Jeezy, it's like, well, if his best shit's a mixtape, how great is he? Every time I bring up Trapper Die 1 and 2, I hear that shit in the streets. It's like, well, his mixtape shit is best shit. So how great is he, Coop? It's like, first of all, fuck your team.
But you know what? Most people love Thug Motivation 101. They say that's a classic. So he at least has that. You know,
he does have 101. I still don't think 101's better than Trapper Die 102, but you know what I'm saying? That's that personal Atlanta.
Listen, I think the Down with the King is, to me, T.I.'s most impressive performance.
Mike performance, maybe. Mike performance, maybe. It's definitely not his best set of songs.
No, it's not his best set of songs.
It's not even top
You know
3.
what? I like the
approach.
attitude.
You like the approach.
I like the attitude.
Because he feels disrespected.
Shit.
He feels disrespected.
Yeah, like this is back against the wall, T.I. So yeah, I feel you. And that's probably how you feel about Trapper Die. I was going to ask, though.
Trapper Die 2 is how I feel about that.
Okay.
Yeah. I like Jeezy's attitude on Trapper Die 2.
I need to go back and listen to Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous again because I don't really have that album as high as most people do.
I think you should go back and listen.
Yeah, I'll go back and listen.
If I'm not mistaken, Buckwild did a fair amount. You know, DITC.
Mm-hmm.
24, the Jizza, Mike.
Okay.
23, AZ.
That's tough right there. Both of them.
Yeah. I put AZ ahead of Jizza for one reason. The consistency with which A has put out quality projects has really gone understated. I mean,
I agree.
I think Do or Die is a classic.
And, you know, out the gate, AZ showed us that he can make a hit record with Sugar Hill.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't hold that against him like, oh, he don't got a hit.
And he had some label issues. Remember the record Hey AZ with Coco?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. I had Hey AZ on vinyl.
That shit was dope.
That shit was dope.
Mad Max of the Super Chat says Pun and L are top 20. And
no,
so is Fab.
No, they're not.
Real NYC cats know Coop's list sounds like a foreigner made it.
Right.
Not a foreigner.
Well, I mean, here's the reality with y'all's list. Y'all don't even know how to include Plug One from fucking De La Soul. So it's like, don't nobody want to hear shit about y'all list, really. You know what I'm saying? Y'all list was whack. That's why we had to go redo it. Sometimes you need some outside perspective to fix it for you. Fab's not top 20. Because Fab doesn't have, because listen to this.
Well, I want to hear what your top 20 is, and I'll see if I agree with
Fab's
that.
not top 20 because of the people that are on this list. Because, Mike, I'm going to tell you what.
Okay.
At least 17 people on here are clearly better than Fab.
I don't have Fab over Jizza. That's just me.
I don't have
Call
Fab.
me a foreigner or whatever.
I don't have Fab over Jizza either.
I know you don't. I'm just talking to the
motherfucker ain't made
people.
no liquid swords. That's what I'm talking about. Like,
I don't have Fab over AZ either.
Y'all talking about all these bars and stuff. Like, we going to talk about this when we talk about Rakim. It's like all that bar shit don't matter if you don't make the song. And I'm
well, I'm going to let you clarify that.
Yeah. No. It's in a good way.
Okay.
It's in a good way. Because I realized something about Rakim in relationship to his peers, and we'll talk about it when we get higher up on this list.
Mad Max of the Super Chat says, all this Griselda-ish, but Conway and Benny are not on the list. I thought we were talking about New York City.
I thought so too, but
yeah. But if we're including them, I think we got, something else going on. But yeah, I mean, that's what Complex is about, right?
Right. I mean, first of all,
he said, I know you better not have them over Pun and L. They're urban legend myths.
Oh, no. I didn't put Benny or Conway on this list.
Yeah, because I thought we were talking New York City.
Me too.
Yeah. Melvin Wright with a super chat says, going to definitely bring up the mixtapes because you bring up the cow in defense of Conway. And that's from a mixtape.
No,
can't pick and choose.
That's a verse. I talk about that verse being his coming out party.
Yeah.
When I talk about Conway, I talk about from a king to a god.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Which is better than anything Fab's ever made.
It is.
Straight up.
To me, it is. Andrew Williams with the super chat says,
Fab don't have no Jesus crisis. I'm sorry.
Pun is better than Fab, but not Big L. He just doesn't have enough work.
I think L is better than Pun, but Pun did more with about the same amount of output. And that's just the reality. It's just the reality, because here's the reality matter. MVP and Put On, that's not fucking with Still Not a Player. Deep Cover, the real Not a Player, the original Not a Player. It's not Dream Shatterer, Super Lyrical, You Came Up, Triple Sace. No, even though It's So Hard, off Yeah Baby. No, I'm sorry. I love L. L's better. Like, L's better than a lot of guys fundamentally. You know what I'm saying?
You got to have the records.
Got to have the records.
Jay Short with the Super Chat says, Big Pun is the only rapper I ever heard who made Black Thought feel secondary on the track.
Correct.
Pun had too much it factor for him on Super Lyrical.
I agree.
All right.
22 Busta Rhymes.
All right.
21 Q-Tip. Now, I don't know what world people living in, but y'all gonna have to show me what Fab's done. That he's supposed to be ahead of Big L, Big Pun, the Jizza, AZ, Busta Rhymes, and Q-Tip.
It could be argued that he's ahead of Big L just based on volume and, you know what I'm saying, and hits.
So he'd be at
like
26 then.
That could be argued.
Because here's what I'm saying is that nobody, and I don't care what nobody say.
Big L out-rap Jay-Z.
Thank
I
you.
don't think Fab would be able to do that at any
Ain't nobody heard no Big Pun or Big L and then heard Fab talking about Fab the better MC.
Yeah, I feel you.
With what? So it would be different if he had some sort of classic that we could go to, like a Liquid Swords or a Do or Die, and be like, see that shit? But he don't have that shit, and that's why he's behind these guys. He definitely doesn't have Busta Rhymes hits. He definitely doesn't have Q-Tip's catalog with Tribe. So he's not ahead of any of those guys, in my opinion.
Mad Max says Mount Vernon is not the city. LOL. So, neither is Yonkers.
So Heavy D and so all them guys don't count? Okay.
Well, I mean, Complex put DMX on there. I mean,
there's 8 on there.
Yeah. He's in Yonkers. So, I mean, I don't know. I think that Mary J. Blige, I feel like, her being, she's from Yonkers, right?
Yeah, that's how they got put on.
That's what I'm saying. So, yeah, the locks and all of that, I felt like they were considered. I'm sorry. I mean, maybe I'm out of.
Seems like they got considered.
Maybe
by
I'm
the New
out
Yorkers.
of the loop. You know
seems
what I mean?
Seems like they got invited to the party.
Yeah,
Mike.
they seem a little bit more considerate than the Buffalo guys are when it comes to New York City and the tri-state area.
I mean, I can rework this list and fit Conway and Benny in here somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, they'll definitely make it.
Yeah, they.
But we're just clarifying on what we thought this was.
Oh yeah, I'm just going by the criteria that was given to me, Mike.
Yeah.
So let's get to my top 20. Talking about some Fab top 20 not with these names I'm about to name, Mike.
All right, go for it,
Mike. Oh, hold on. You want to know what? And I forgot somebody because he slipped out. Mike, I forgot to put Yasin on here. I thought I had Yasin at 19. So actually, let me tell you what. I believe I had Yasin right after Cam and before Q-Tip. And so this list is a little off. So whoever my 50 was is actually about to slide out. And that's
Mad Max says Busta over Fab. Busta is not like that up here. Now that, Mad Max, is what I was saying last episode. Like, I know Busta's more of a global, national star, but I know me as a Busta fan, New Yorkers weren't really rocking with Busta shit like that.
Okay, so this is a reality that people need to face. What has Fab made this better than The Coming?
Oh, you talking about as a full project? I think Fab's best album
is still not better than The Coming by Busta Rhymes.
I think he has nothing for ELE either. But I think his best album is Real Talk.
Like I said, so his best album would be Busta's 3rd or 4th best album. You want to go to guest appearances? Who got more memorable bars, really? It's like when people are saying that. When people are talking, like, that's what I'm saying is, like, I'm not the biggest Busta fan. Even like, you're actually the Busta fan.
Yeah.
But what we're not about to do is be disrespectful and make it seem like Fab's better than Busta.
Where's the scenario?
He's never made better albums. He doesn't have better guest appearances. He doesn't have more memorable verses. He hasn't been impacted in this game the way Busta has. Where is Fab better than Busta? On what metric?
I think on
that little
little
mixtape bar work.
Yeah.
Mike, one check, next. That's what I'm saying.
But for New York, though, you think that, because it's like,
Mike,
this is what I'm going to say, and this is my correlation, right?
I'm
not saying that Fab is like Gucci is down here,
Fab's
right?
problem is Jada Kiss, Mike. You feel what I'm saying?
I feel what you're saying.
Because all that shit y'all talking about, it's like, no, you talking about Kiss. You're not talking about Fab.
What I'm saying, though.
You're not talking about Fab. You're talking about Kiss when you say these things.
Busta's kind of ludicrous-ish to Atlanta in that way, right? So it's like if you ask somebody in Atlanta.
Busta's a better scene stealer verse
artist. No, I agree, but I'm just talking about being from a place where the place itself doesn't really play you as much as they do like a Gucci or something like that. If you ask somebody out here in Atlanta who's the more who would you rate as a top Atlanta MC, they're gonna put Gucci over Luda, right?
Right. In Real Talk, Mike, this is the same town that didn't play fucking Wu-Tang Clan in their prime, so you can't trust that shit. Right.
I'm just saying based
right.
on the,
No, all I'm saying is they
listed.
didn't play Wu-Tang Clan. So
No,
ain't nobody trying to take
I
their
used
word
to play
for it.
Wu-Tang, and they looked at me weird.
How you not playing Wu-Tang Clan in the town?
And it was like, yo.
You're not playing
Oh, you
Wu
talking
in the
about
town on
New
the
York, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about New York.
Yeah.
So when they talking about this play shit, it's like y'all didn't play Wu. It's like, so stop looking for credit. Like y'all done fucked up a couple times. Like with the choices that you made. When you're talking all that shit that Fab does, you're really talking about Kiss. Fab don't do it like that. It's not anything personal. It's just levels to this shit, and these are the levels.
Jay Short with the super chat. I'm gonna let you finish. He says, so Tupac is from New York, but Long Island and Mount Vernon aren't in New York. Make it make sense.
You tell the people who made the list to make it make sense.
Melvin Wright with the super chat says Big L doesn't have it either, Coop. Back off Fab.
Shit, he got more than Fab.
I don't know about that. Andrew Williams. He got to breathe?
I think Put It On. I think MVP is lyrically better than Breathe, yes. MVP is better than Breathe lyrically, yeah.
Talking about the song, though. Andrew Williams.
Hold on. L don't have the songs,
Mm-hmm.
but he's better than Fab. And stop telling me that he's not.
Andrew Williams with the super chat says, nah, Coop. I was saying that Pun is better than Fab, but Big L ain't over Fab because Big L don't have enough work. I'm not a fan of Fab's catalog either.
Now, Fab catalog ain't like that for me to put him over L. That's what I'm trying to emanate to you all.
Melvin Wright says, Mike, Fab's best album is Loso's Way. Okay.
That's still not doing any, it's not any better.
Jay Show with the super chat says, little mixtape bar work, Coop. Don't do Fab like that.
It's not little mixtape bar work, but it's like if we're going to go talk about bar work on mixtapes from that era, who's the man, Mike? Because it's not Fab.
Ohio
Is it not
Case.
Jadakiss? Is it not Jadakiss?
Yeah, he's that guy.
Right.
Ohio K with the super chat says, I'm not about to let this Big L slander continue in the chat. LOL.
Thank you.
Handle that.
Like, right, y'all talking, like, L has an MC.
Mm-hmm.
Was a Nas and Jay-Z caliber level MC when he was walking around. Ask those two guys. They will tell you. Ain't nobody ever looked at Fab that way. Nobody's ever looked at Fab like the type of person that can be on a track next to a Jay-Z and Nas and get the better of him. That's what I'm saying. Even the Kane shit. That's what I'm saying. It's like, no. L can rap with Kane. L can rap with Nas. L can rap with Jay. Fab, no.
To be fair,
L be up higher if he had lived.
the way L was thought of was kind of like how Jadakiss and Prodigy were thought of when we knew they were going solo.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was
Yeah,
like,
it's
okay,
like that.
we know the bars are there, but let's see if they could put it together.
It's like that.
Yeah.
And how about this? For the brief time that he was here, consider him to be a better song maker than Kiss. Right.
You talking about Big L?
Kiss ain't never made no put on or MVP as a solo record, just like straight up and down by him.
Okay. All right, what we got next?
20 is Cam.
Killer.
19 is Styles P.
Oh, you got Styles P pretty high. I like that.
He's supposed to be high.
He put in the work. He gets forgotten a lot.
Not over here. 18 is Lil Kim, Mike.
Okay.
17 is Cool G Rap, Mike.
As it should be.
16 is Slick Rick. 15 is Big Daddy Kane. 14 is Jadakiss. 13 is Method Man. 12 is Prodigy. And 11 is Raekwon. Go.
Well, they would tell you that they would put Fabulous over Lil Kim. I think. Isn't that what y'all are going to say?
They don't know shit, Mike.
Yeah.
That's what I keep trying to tell you.
Yeah, I don't think we could put Fab over.
You don't have no evidence of that shit. And if somebody
I
brings
think Kim would beat Fab in the verses.
Mike, Jadakiss beat Fab in the verses. Do you know what Lil
Handily.
Kim would do to Fab in the verses?
Mad Max of the super chat says, let an NY guy say Quavo over CeeLo, and you're going to lose your top. But you're going to tell us about our rappers.
What Quavo y'all talking about? Like who on here lyrically?
I don't think anybody would say.
Right, that's what I'm saying. The guys that I'm naming, like Busta Rhymes ain't no damn Quavo. Like if Busta Rhymes and Fab get on a track, Busta gonna show out more than Fab is.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know where guys is like getting
especially in Busta's prime.
Busta's prime, it's not even a Mike. It's not even a fucking question. That's what I'm saying.
Busta's prime, he's out rapping a lot.
How about this, Mike? Fab is Gucci up there.
Yeah.
But Mike, even down here, do we consider Gucci to be all-time great down here? But we don't never talk about Gucci the way we talk about Andre, or talk about Big Boy, or talk about CeeLo. No, the fuck we don't.
I don't know.
We don't talk about him in those lyrical
Gucci
regards.
go a long way. But yeah, I know
No,
what
we
you
don't
mean.
talk about him in those regards as far as his MCing. So I don't know where this
we
shit
talk
y'all
about the
popping
overall
up.
catalog.
Like, what's
with him.
Fab best verse, Mike?
That's a good question. See, you asking me the Fat Joe LL Cool J question.
Like, what's Fab best verse? Because how about this? Let's go.
See. What is my favorite Fab
This is what I
verse?
mean. Let's just go to the Jizz on Liquid Swords. Show me where his verses are better. Like, show me a verse that Fab. I can go pull a random verse off of Liquid Swords that's better than the shit that Fab be spitting. That's why I'm like, no, it's not like that, fam. Stop making it seem like it's like that. It's just the reality of the matter. He came along in a little gap. And he was really, really good. And he's been really good. And he's top notch. He's not everything outside of New York like y'all saying.
Zeri Frazier with the super chat says, Wu regularly got played in New York. I don't know what Coop's talking about. You're referring to Hot 97 band, and they aren't the only big radio station up here. Well, that's good to know.
Man, other radio station wasn't playing like that either, according to Wu-Tang Clan.
According to them.
According to the Wu-Tang Clan,
where we got that from was the documentary.
Mike, according to Wu-Tang Clan, they didn't get played like that, but okay.
But maybe Wu-Tang can clarify it. I don't know. Okay. Mad Max of the super chat says, Cam over Big L. Don't let a Harlem in catch you, Coop. I mean, y'all have a problem with Cam being over Big L?
That's what I'm saying. So
Cam's done the work.
Cam did the work. L wasn't here. That's what I'm saying. If you
Cam has the impact.
That's what I'm saying. If you're talking about L as an MC, well, L's somebody that can rap next to Kane and Nas and Jay, so he's super higher than all those guys. Mike, he only made one album while he was really here.
We can't put that over a guy who made Purple Haze, Come Home with Me, Diplomatic Immunity.
Mike, the SDE.
SDE, that's where I was gonna
tough.
go. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Cam done made a lot of dope albums. And the Dipset shit.
Yeah.
And all the hits.
Nah.
He's on Banned from TV. He's part of that 98 class too. It's like, no, Cam.
No, Cam is the truth.
Cam's the truth. And the impact is there.
Oh boy.
Cam's the truth.
Big L ain't do that.
Big L don't have no old boy. I'm sorry.
He don't. Hey Ma and
hey,
stuff
Ma.
like that.
What means the world to you?
No. I mean, it is what it is. Anything other than that, we would be being biased. You know what I'm saying?
Cam, Mason, L were in a group together. L was the best MC. We all know that.
Listen, man.
We all know that.
I heard some footage, I saw some footage rather.
Cam's actually the third best one.
Cam was rhyming a different way back then. Cam switched up his style to be different.
You want to know
why?
The
way that he was rhyming back then, like, on a technical level, we'd be like, yo, Cam was right there with it. But he changed up to be different.
You know why Cam switched up?
Get identity.
Because Murder, Mason, Big L were better rappers than him, even when he was doing that fundamentally technically sound stuff. But he took it and made it work into something else. And he's had a better career than Mason, Big L.
No, facts.
He just has.
Mad Max with the super chat says, Lil' Kim is maybe top 30. Stephon Young with the super chat says, 6 Minutes of Death is Fab's best verse. Jay Short with the super chat says, I'm going to ignore y'all overrating Cam. A top 50 lyricist list doesn't feel right without Kool Moe D. Before our time, but we still got ears.
Hey, Kool Moe D's 32 on this list.
Go see the doctor.
Kool Moe D's 32 on this list.
Kool Moe D was nice.
Kool Moe D was nice. I put Kool Moe D higher than Melly Mel for a reason.
Yeah. He got more stuff.
He's a better MC.
Think he's a better MC?
Overall, yes.
Okay.
As a lyricist, definitely.
Yeah, he got flow.
Got flow, got delivery, got style, got charisma.
Changed it up.
Got the records.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see that little piece I did on Melly Mel the other day?
I did.
Am I wrong?
You're not wrong.
Am I wrong? I mean, it's so
You're not
weird.
Wrong.
It's
You're not wrong. It is weird.
It's weird.
I mean, it's weird that you keep talking about Eminem, but that part's weird too.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, we gotta.
What do you think, Mike? What do you think about how my 20 to 11? How you feel?
I'm cool with it. I kind of see where it's going.
Right. Want me to keep going?
Yeah, go ahead.
I got 50 at 10. I got Ghost at 9. I got DMX at 8. I got Chuck D at 7. I got LL at 6. I got Biggie at 5. And I'm going to tell you why I got Biggie at 5. I couldn't in clear conscience put him ahead of Rakim or KRS-One. Not with no clear conscience, Mike.
I can't put him ahead of LL Cool J.
With the L thing, because here's the thing about it. L thing has always been the songs and the hits, and I feel like Biggie has just as many hits, if not more. And he
did the albums.
And he made the albums and is the superior MC on a few levels, so I'm willing to give it to Big. But, Mike, I really sat down and thought about it. It's like, man, KRS-One made 4 borderline classic albums before he even, quote-unquote, went solo.
Yeah, and he's still making albums.
Yeah.
and still performing at a high level. We went and saw him.
And I got Rakim at number 3. And I got KRS at 4. But let me tell you something I realized.
I think that's a very fair top
It is.
5.
It's the way it's supposed to be.
Top 10, yeah.
And I'm going to tell you why. Realize something about Rakim. Rakim's the best lyricist of his era, and I think up until Nas and Black Thought, probably the best lyricist of all time. I think they make it conversational for him. But here's why I have Rakim so high, Mike. Rakim just made better records than his contemporaries.
Yep.
He did, and I'm going to point out why, because here's the thing. Mike,
with very little help, too.
With almost no help. Thank you. That's where I was going. Mike, do you think Rakim has more style than Slick Rick? Because I don't. You think he's more? So. Do you?
Nobody does.
Do you think he is more affable in the ladies' sphere like LL Cool J?
No.
Do you think?
Or Kane.
Do you think that he is the overall ladies' man and performer that Kane is? No. Do you think he's the gangster that Cool G Rap is? Do you think he's the teacher that KRS-One is?
Or the performer that KRS is?
Right. So actually, when you look at it, he actually won. And here's where MCing changed, Mike. He didn't just win with the lyrics. He beat all these guys with the songs. And that's why the songs matter. Mm-hmm. And that's why the albums matter. He made it matter because he beat his competition literally with the songs. That's why when y'all kicking this Fab shit, it's like, what songs? What albums?
And for our younger audience out there,
Rock,
Eric B is president. You're speaking of. You're speaking of my melody, I'm sure.
You're
speaking of Paid in Full.
I ain't no joke.
I ain't no joke. Follow the leader.
I know you got soul.
Yeah, I know
Microphone
you got
Fiend.
Microphone Fiend.
Lyrics of Fury.
Mm-hmm.
Know the Ledge.
Yeah.
Mahogany.
Yeah.
Casualties of War. Let the Rhythm Hit 'em. No, stop making it seem like that you
don't
can
sweat
just,
the technique.
Don't sweat the. Stop making it seem like you can just step to the mic and spit and be lyrical and not make the song and make the album, because he's actually the guy that made making the song and the album as a lyricist the thing. I'm gonna say this
Ghetto's
again.
one of my favorites too.
Damn, forgot about Ghetto. Mike, like I said, not charismatic like Slick Rick, not a ladies' man like L or Kane, not a teacher like KRS, not a gangster like Cool G Rap. How he ended up being the best MC of his era, Mike?
Because he's just that great.
Because he just made better songs. So when y'all are sitting up here talking about Fabulous like this, and I'm like, what songs? What albums? Rakim is the reason that I'm saying that shit. And it's why you need to stop saying that shit about Fab. Because he is nowhere in that stratosphere of making songs like this, of making albums like this, that he should be top 20. He is light years ahead of these motherfuckers with this shit.
He is.
He is. Because he, in 86... on one album in 86, Mike, he put in more bar work that's better and more memorable than Fab whole career.
So a lot of people's whole career.
No, because people talking like Fab top 20, and it's like, no, he's not.
I guess to a certain generation he is.
Because, well, here's what I would tell you why he's not. That's why I was like, no, you talking about Jadakiss. Because Jadakiss is 14 on this list, and he's not touching Rakim's bar work or song work. And y'all all know that Kiss is better than Fab. So how y'all going to have Kiss so high and think Fab sitting next to him? No.
Yeah.
And Rakim's the one that made it that way, Mike. He made it possible. No, lyricists can make songs and albums better than the other guys. That might be his real thing, because when people like, well, lyricists don't make good songs, it's like kind of funny. They used to.
Mm-hmm.
Because his name's Rakim.
It's funny, man.
His name's Rakim.
Not to bring up the Eminem thing again, but when we talk about, or I saw it was trending on Twitter one time, they were talking about M don't get played in the club, and somebody had the nerve to be like, well, Rakim don't make club songs and Black Thought don't make club songs. I'm like, no, those guys got bangers. Like, you'll hear Eric B is president in the club. You'll hear Paid in Full.
Paid in Full definitely still gets played in the club.
Yeah, like, I ain't no joke. Yeah, those get played in the mix. Yes. So, yeah, when people say stuff like that, they don't know what they're talking about. Rakim got the record.
But this is what I'm saying. He just made great songs. And you got to make great songs to be part of it. Like, a lot of these guys, like, say what you want about Cam. It's like, no, Cam got more great songs than Big L.
He does.
He got more great songs than Mace. He definitely got more great songs than Fab. He got more hits than Fab and more great songs than Fab. What the fuck are people talking about?
Trey 9 Mo, what's good?
J. Cole, this ain't no Southern list.
It's the New York list.
The New York list.
Oh, man, they zoning out over here. They ask if we got J. Cole and Lil Wayne on the list. Trey 9 Mo with the super chat says, Did y'all hear the J Elect verse on No Name album and react to her album? No, we got to check that out. That's going to be Monday because everybody keeps talking about this verse. Jermaine Johnson with the super chat says Styles P over Jada. Even Jada says that respectfully.
I mean, I have one at 19 and one at 14, so it's not like it's not plausible. Just like I got Ray at 11 and Ghost at 9. I keep telling you it's close.
Jada would beat Styles P in the verses. Let's just keep it real.
People not keeping it real with themselves about the Jada Styles thing.
Now, I know everybody want to knock Jada for not having the albums that Styles has, but we know that Jada makes up for that in other ways. I'll put it that way.
That's why Meth and Kiss are right next to each other. Is that without making that great album, go look at the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what I'm saying is like, oh, no, how about this? Show me where Fabs walked into a blackout situation and walked out with the best verse. Has in a Prime X, a Prime J sitting right there.
No,
but Jada Kiss got the best verse on the song.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. When y'all talking about that shit that Fab do, you're talking about Jada Kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even with Money, Power, and Respect, when DMX came through with that. I sneeze on
tracks and bless you. I'm special. And if you like working out, then I'm going to stretch you. Hustling is dead, but we all,
Man, I like how he started out. It's like, dang, how did he start that verse out? Been over and spit rhymes like Shogun. You scared to blow one. Get robbed with your own gun. If I don't respect you, I'ma check you. And if I don't kiss you, I'ma peck you. And then get to the part where we're at. Jay Short with the super chat says, you realize that Cam is the only top 25 MC on your list who can't do a verses without his crew, right? But we pretend Cam got songs like that. Fab is better. Jay Short hates Cam. Melvin Wright,
a hater, and get off. I'm sorry, fam. Breathe's not enough. Like Kiss, listen to me. Kiss bodied Fab.
Cam would beat Fab at a versus.
Listen to me. Kiss bodied Fab.
Yeah.
Cam got bigger records than Kiss.
No, facts.
He's not better than Kiss on any level except for the fact that he does make better songs.
Yeah.
And so if Kiss, that's why I keep saying it's like, oh, you don't think Cam or Lil Kim better? It's like, show me.
Yeah.
Show me. Because, like, how about this? Kim gonna body Cam, and that's why I put Cam at 20 and put Kim at 18, because I was about to put Kim at 20, and then I was like, hold on. I'm like, Kim's stunting on these motherfuckers with this catalog. This catalog is stunting.
Melvin Wright with a super chat says, okay, Coop, so please explain what Chubb Rock did to be top 50.
Chubb Rock's first album, lyrically, is one of the better rap albums that you'll hear from that era.
I think Chubb Rock is the precursor of what we got with Biggie. To be honest.
Him and Heavy D? Yeah. But Chubb Rock was a top-notch lyricist. Go listen to Chubb Rock's debut album.
Yeah, 1990, Chubb Rock jumps up on the scene.
No, but the whole album is super lyrical, Mike.
I mean, even with him
Chubb
rhyming
Rock has flows.
on Treat 'Em Right, you could hear it.
You can hear it.
Yeah.
What's the
Crooklyn Dodgers.
There it goes.
Yeah,
Crooklyn Dodgers.
Man.
It's like, no, you can hear Chubb.
No, Chubb Rock and rhyme.
I mean,
nah. That's why with the super chat says Rakim's songs are beloved mostly because of the bars, but one could argue KRS-One made better overall records. That said, I agree with Rakim over KRS. Solid list. I do think that the beats that Rakim had were better.
No, his highs are higher than KRS's. That's what it is. That's what I mean. He made certain things matter that hadn't mattered before. It's like, oh no, that guy's ceiling, when he hits the mark on his record, he's going to make a better record than all these other guys. That's what happened.
You're going to love this next comment. T-Nitty says, did you miss MF Doom? Sean P. I know he was on there.
You mean
Killer
MF Doom
Priest
was born in England?
Cormega.
MF Doom was born in England.
He is.
So I didn't count him because he's not born literally even in the United States. I don't know how he made Complex's list, seeing how he wasn't even born here. But that's why he didn't make the list. He wasn't born in this country. Like, not even a New York thing. He wasn't born in this country.
Okay.
Like, what people are like, why didn't he make the list? Well, he wasn't born in this country.
Stephon Young with the super chat.
You see how wild people be?
Yeah. Jadakiss is the posse cut king. I have him top 5. Jay Short with the super chat says, I like Cam. I just think that he's the poster child of New York bias. He swagged up and fooled y'all. He gets passes for being from New York. Okay.
I'm not the biggest Cam fan, but I'm going to give him his due for what he's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a movement, and that movement doesn't happen without Cam. Cam's important.
Cam's important.
Very.
Yeah. Dipset had New York on lock for a minute, Mike.
The industry.
And that was Cam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even what we got with Wayne that came through that Dipset movement.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. That's what I'm saying. Fab ain't never had no movement like that, Mike.
Nah. Who's Fab? Didn't even have a crew like that.
How about this? When was the shit that Fab was kicking coming out of New York like, oh, this the hottest dude in the city? because Cam had that.
Yeah.
He didn't have it to the level of a 50. He didn't have it to the level of a Kiss. He didn't have it to the level of the guys at the very, very top, of course. But, oh, no, he had it. He definitely had it more than Fab ever did.
So Rakim's 3.
Rakim's 3. You know 2 and 1, Mike. You know what I'm saying?
Jay-Z at 2 is my guess.
Correct.
And Nas is 1.
Correct. But the big thing was where I really kind of like drew the line, because it was like, okay, it's like Ready to Die and Life After Death, and those guest appearances are not that good that it literally circumvents Criminal Minded.
Yeah.
By all means necessary. Edutainment, Sex, Drugs, and Violence.
Yeah.
Return of the Boom Bap. The KRS-One album. It's like, no, it doesn't supersede Paid in Full. And like just off the merit of Paid in Full and Follow the Leader alone, you can say it doesn't supersede that. But then it's like, you got to let the rhythm hit them. Don't skip the technique. The 18th letter. It's like, no.
If Biggie gets on the mic at any point in his career, at the height of his career, on the same song with KRS and Rakim, he doesn't out-rap them like that.
Here's another thing about Big, and I'm not saying this to be funny. And part of why I did put Nas at number 1 is this, because it's not even about the Jay-Z or the battle thing. The only time that I really thought Big was the best rapper in New York, Mike, is right when he passed, Mike. It's Life After Death.
Mm-hmm.
Don't sit up there and kick this shit to me and tell me that he's a better MC than Nas in 94. That's not true. Don't tell me he's better than Nas in 95. That's not true. You want to know what Biggie's verses look like in 1995? You want to sip Mo on my living room floor. Play Nintendo with C's and no. Pick up the phone, say Papa not home. Now, this is Nas in 95 in a mahogany, black scenery that was lightning and raindrops. I'm tied up in the basement cocaine spot like Bangkok, Vietnam type mind control. Nah, Mike, he not better than 95. Mike, 96 is It Was Written, the thing that you call the most lyrical performance ever recorded on record.
Yeah.
So if Nas is better in 94, 95, and 96, and Big dies in 97, when was Big ever really better? Because the last time, I've always said this.
I got a Biggie question
It's
here.
a top 3 Mike performance, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Let the rhythm hit him. It Was Written. Life After Death. But that didn't happen until 97, Mike.
No.
So really, his peak, he missed his peak. Because when he was really, really the best, he was gone, Mike. And I think that's part of the reason why he gets held so high.
I think so, too.
Is that, oh, no, when he
died
left,
on top.
Oh, when he left, in 1997, he is a better rapper than Nas. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so he had ascended somewhere special. But
These are easy.
But to act as if in 94, 95, and 96, the Big was better than Nas, Mike, that's just not accurate. It's just not true.
Yeah.
You're talking about the radio. You're not talking about the bars. Because if you want to go listen to Junior Mafia's album and go listen to all the stuff that he did and like all the remixes stuff, and then go listen to the stuff Nas did in 95. Tell me who's better. You do not want to play Illmatic and Ready to Die next to each other lyrically. You do not want to play It Was Written against anything that he was. You don't want to do that.
I mean, Big said himself that he thought that Nas should have won Lyricist of the Year at the Source Awards.
I mean, no.
He said he thought he should get Album of the Year with Ready to Die, but he was like, Lyricist of the Year, I get that.
Ready to Die is not better than Illmatic, Mike.
Well, you know.
The beats aren't better. The rhymes aren't better. The concepts aren't better. Where is it better? The beats ain't better.
The hits.
That's it, Mike. But the hits that you're talking about, Big Papa and Juicy.
Yeah.
It's like, has a head, Mike.
Because the remix ain't there.
Let me ask you something. Real talk. Now, It Ain't Hard to Tell and The World Is Yours or Big Papa and Juicy? Just in a vacuum, not hit, but the songs. What songs are better?
You said Big Papa and The World Is Yours?
No, I'm saying those were the first 2 singles off those respective projects. Is Juicy.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. And Big Papa, right? Yeah, Juicy, Big Papa, right?
Yeah.
And off Illmatic, It Ain't Hard to Tell and The World Is Yours.
Yeah, I think that the Illmatic songs are better.
They're better songs, Mike.
Now,
They're not hit records.
Yeah.
So he had been better. That's what I'm saying. It's like the hit record thing about it got skewed. It's like nobody in their right mind really thinks that It Ain't Hard to Tell is an inferior record to Big Papa or Juicy. Like, I don't know no hip-hop.
If we're putting up, because It Ain't Hard to Tell is the first single. Let's put It Ain't Hard to Tell up against Juicy.
It Ain't Hard to Tell.
I personally like It Ain't Hard to Tell, but if somebody said Juicy, I can't argue that.
Juicy's the bigger record, and you can't take that away.
Big Papa's a dope record, too. I love Big Papa, but
not
it's
fucking
not
with The World Is Yours.
The World Is Yours.
It's not, Mike. That's what I'm saying.
Opinion.
And so some of that Biggie stuff, even by the New Yorkers mostly, might be a little bit skewed. Because the reality of the matter is 94, 95, 96, he's not the best rapper in New York, Mike. He's not. I'm sorry.
T-Nitty with the super chat says, Coop, most Atlanta rappers aren't born in Atlanta. LP with the super chat says, KRS-One made comparable music during Rakim's peak and stayed in the game well after Rakim fell off lyrically. Rakim overall, KRS-One has peak lasts longer. His peak lasts longer, and I think that's fair. And that's me as a Rakim fan.
But-
I mean, I'll listen to that, but I'll still put Rakim ahead in my opinion.
Well, this is why I said, well, Rakim's highs are higher than KRS-One's. How about this, Mike? What do you think is the best song on Criminal Minded?
Criminal Minded to me.
The actual song.
Yeah.
Now, Mike, where would Criminal Minded the song?
Can't
Right.
find it.
Right, Mike. Where would Criminal Minded fall on Paid in Full as a song? You feel what
Well,
I'm saying?
I would have my melody over it. I would have Paid in Full over it.
Yes.
I Ain't No Joke over it. I
Yes.
would have Eric B as president over it.
So half the album,
And
Mike.
so it would
That's
probably fall somewhere in there
5 or
because it's
6.
better than The Rhyme Goes On.
Do you like it better than I Know You Got Soul?
I do.
Okay, so think about this. That means
And that's a great record.
It is. So KRS-One's peak, Rakim's peak. You just explained it, Mike. It's like, well, KRS-One's best song, when Rakim's at his peak, will fall somewhere 3rd, 4th, or 5th on Rakim's shit. And that's why Rakim's better, because the highs are higher. Not like it's not comparable, because it is. And KRS-One still thinks that he's better than Rakim. I know
As
that
he
he does, because I'm still number 1 as a Rakim shot. I don't care what anybody says. It is.
is.
But the reality of the matter is Mike, what's KRS-One's most memorable shit?
My philosophy, in my opinion.
I think it's My Philosophy and Love's Gonna Get You.
Yeah.
Mike, that's not fucking with Rakim's best shit.
No.
It's not.
MCs act like they don't know.
That's up there.
And Rapture is up there as far as his most memorable stuff.
Yeah, that's Mike. That's not Microphone Fiend.
But I would say the top of the top, Philosophy.
Okay.
So you're gonna put Philosophy up against, I don't even know what Rakim's most notable record is.
We don't got to go all the way to the top. This should let you know the level, Mike. Is My Philosophy better than Know the Ledge?
Damn.
Right, because Know the Ledge isn't Rakim's best song.
I personally don't think so, but if somebody said it is, I'm not mad at that.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. Is like, well, Know the Ledge for most people isn't Follow the Leader,
Yeah.
or Paid in Full,
Yeah.
or Eric B is President,
Yeah.
or Microphone Fiend. You feel what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's like, oh no, KRS-One is right there, but Rakim's ceiling, Mike, the ceiling
It's
when he makes
crazy.
the record, it's different when he makes the record.
No, that's real.
And for whatever one of people say about KRS-One, I love KRS-One as a lyricist. He does not have a mic performance like Let the Rhythm Hit Him, because very few people do. It's just the reality of the matter.
I can't think of anybody who does
Not from
outside of
end to
maybe Nas or something.
Like I said, Mike, Nas on It Was Written. Rakim on Let the Rhythm Hit Him. Big on Life After
the
Death.
way he's rapping on Let the Rhythm Hit Him, the song, and No Omega,
Shit
it's
different, Mike. The shit different, Mike.
like the best MC I ever heard.
Mike,
Like in
even
a
with-
vacuum.
Mike,
yeah.
the one time he slowed it down on the album, it was the biggest hit. Me and Eric B was cooling at the Palladium, seeing an all-world cover girl. I say, hey, lady, I'm sorry if you're in a rush. Don't mean to hold you up or intervene or interrupt. But his flow is so sick, Mike. His flow is so sick.
Amal with the super chat says, peace. Slick Rick was born outside of the country too. LOL. Fair.
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 I'll eat that.
Jay Short with the super chat says, Cam is the Kyrie Irving of rap. Amazing how swag and flash can get you compared to the greats without the
But
results.
Slick Rick
to
also
match.
claims the Bronx. What does MF Doom claim? Because I never heard MF Doom claim New York like that. Did you?
I thought he claimed Long Island, but I could be mistaken.
I mean, Slick Rick claimed the Bronx.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Dot with the super chat says, New York State of Mind alone is better than Ready to Die. Y'all wildin'. Leroy Green with the super chat says, Coop, you talk about Nas' lyrical skills, but compared to Big, where is Nas's balance with the radio songs? Why is balance important for everybody but Nas? What say you?
I say go listen to It Was Written and be quiet. That's what I'm saying. Is like, you know, like I get what you're saying, and you're talking about Big being more versatile, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I brought up the Rakim point. Oh no, Kane was more versatile. LL was more versatile. Nobody thought they were better.
Esquire with the super chat says,
Well, people thought Kane was better.
So if Rakim's highs are greater than KRS-One's,
They are.
why aren't Big's?
Because Big's highs aren't higher than Nas's highs. Set simple.
I don't think Big's highs are better than Rakim to me.
As a hit maker, that's about it. That's what I'm saying.
Big was incredible though. Both incredible.
Like
MCs.
how about this? What's Big's 5 best songs?
Shit, that's hard to say, man.
Like pick 5 big songs, because that's what I'm saying.
Who Shot You comes to mind.
That's not gonna beat those Rakim records, Mike. It's not. Who Shot You's not better than any of those Rakim records that we named.
I see where you're going, because Big's hits like that aren't his best songs per se.
Correct.
So Warning would come to mind.
That's not beating those Rakim records either, Mike.
I don't think so.
You're gonna have to. That's what I'm saying. It's like when people.
And Everyday Struggle, as great as it is.
That's not in the ghetto, Mike. It's not.
I love both songs. That's hard, man.
Everyday Struggle might be my Everyday Struggle and My Downfall might be my favorite Big records.
Yeah, that shit's not ghetto.
That's not in the ghetto or Know the Ledge.
Yeah, man, ghetto's crazy, man.
Planet
Planet Earth was my place of birth.
Born to be the
soul controller of the universe. Yo, the way he
came in and just started skating
I love
on
when
it.
It's like 007 is back and reacting, on point and relaxing, and ready for action. I'm so low key that you might not see me. Incognito, taking it easy.
Mike, sip the juice. I got enough to go around. And the thought takes place uptown. I grew up on the sidewalk where I learned street talking. Oh, man, no. I'm sorry.
I go to Queens with Queens to get the crew from Brooklyn. Make money in Manhattan and never been tooken. Go uptown to the Bronx and boogie down. Get strong on the island, recoup to lay around. Time to build my juice back up.
Mike, his highs are super high. His highs are super
incredible,
high.
Man.
That's what I'm saying is like I think over time people are forgetting how high his high was.
He's incredible.
No,
man.
Like how about this? You remember JN 2000? Rakim in his prime is bigger than that to people.
I think that you think about how early he's rapping like this. Like you know when you
it's not fair.
You know when you go back in history and they talk about somebody's net worth in like the 60s and they like, correlate it to today's currency or whatnot. Right. The way this nigga was rhyming in the 80s, and then you factor that in with the, you know what I'm saying, the way people were rapping, he's on a whole nother planet. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you update that and factor in all of those things, we have to compare the way Rakim's rapping in 87 and 88 to the way niggas is rhyming in 96.
Correct.
That's what it is. That's how far ahead he was to everybody.
I mean, to be honest with you, it's like outside of a few guys, he was still ahead of people when he came back.
Yeah. He's insane.
Like when he came back, he was still ahead of almost everybody.
Yeah.
He took 5 years off.
Mad Max with the super chat says, talk to someone over 55. Most of them got Kane over KRS. Really? LP with the super chat says, I'm still number one was a shot at Melly Mel. They battled. I want to hear from Melly Mel. Will the real Melly Mel please stand up? Esquire with the super chat says,
Melly Mel don't want that.
The question was, why aren't Big's highs greater than KRS-One?
Want to know the truth, Mike?
Mm-hmm.
Because subject matter matters.
Okay.
Subject matter matters. It does. And that's why I was asking you to bring up Big's best 5 songs, because what you'll find is that you'll find great mic performances, but the content, it's really not there like that, Mike. It's just not. Hate to be the one to break it to people. It's like,
and you're right. Subject matter does matter. When you got a verse like You Must Learn, where you're talking about everything, you're giving a whole history class. Yeah, those are incredible highs.
That's what I'm saying. Like, or even stuff like, oh yeah, it's like, no, like Big can't do that. I'm sorry.
You're right.
Yeah, that matters. Yeah. It's like Big's got Everyday Struggle and Sky's the Limit. Are those his biggest content records? That's not gonna beat KRS-One.
Yeah. 007 with the super chat says, think about it. Rakim was rapping about me. 007.
You gonna play 10 Crack Commandments after Love's gonna get you? You feel me? It's like 10 Crack Commandments inherently might be a better song, Mike, but if you start parsing out and coming down to the nuance of it, it's gonna come down to the message, the content. And so Big's not gonna beat KRS-One on no content and no message.
And then we got the longevity conversation. We're talking about somebody who had probably one of the shortest, greatest careers ever versus somebody who's had one of the longest careers in hip-hop history.
KRS-One has made at least 6 great albums.
Yeah.
At least 6.
Yeah. His catalog
6.
And, this is no disrespect to Kane. I really wanted to see the KRS-One LL matchup.
Kane catalog ain't long enough for KRS, so you can feel like.
I mean, we saw it.
Like this. Hold on. So same thing with L is with Kane. It's like, oh no, you talking in a vacuum, my nigga.
Mm-hmm.
You're not talking in reality.
Yeah.
Like, cause in reality, if we want to talk about like just like the talent, oh no, L and Kane are like that, and the output is not.
Yeah.
And that's just that. We saw it during the verses.
We saw it.
Yeah. It's not enough to fuck with KRS.
Yeah, facts.
Facts.
It is what it is,
like,
man. We saw it.
Right.
Like, Kane had to go out there and do some freestyles and stuff. Like,
yeah. And it wasn't enough. The performance is there. Now, here's what I will tell you is, like, I've always felt like KRS-One was the best rap performer ever. Not so sure about that
both
after
of
that
those,
Kane shit.
Yeah, I think
that's like a 1A,
they're 1 and
1B.
2.
Yeah,
they're
it's
1A.
It's not even 1 and 2. It's like 1A, 1B. Like how you feel for the day.
And the fact that Kane's doing this high level performing and moving and all that in his 50s, amazing. Breath control is incredible.
And if you wanted to take KRS over Rakim, you would have an argument. I wouldn't knock you. I would just tell you that I would take Rakim because the highs are higher, as in the moments are more memorable. It's like, I don't care what you say. It's like, nah, KRS-One doesn't have an Eric B as president. He doesn't have a microphone thing. He doesn't.
Jay Short
That's how
says,
high the highs are. It's like Rakim got shit KRS don't got.
Jay Short with Super Chat says, y'all forgot Rakim's most classic bars. I start to think and then sink into the paper like I was ink. I know you got soul.
Trapped in between the lines. I escaped when I finished the rhyme. I got soul.
I've said this on the show.
He's got the most hip hop quotables ever.
I was gonna say. I know you got Prodigy for the best opening lines. I got Rakim, man. Like, he has such memorable opening lines.
I was a fiend.
Yeah.
Before I became a teen.
Yeah.
I melted microphones instead of cones of ice cream. Music orientated. So when hip hop was originated, fitted like pieces of puzzles. Complicated.
And then he got the I ain't no joke. I used to let the mic smoke. Now slam it on the ground and make sure it's broke. And then, of course, thinking of a master plan.
I came in the door. I said it before.
He is the first line killer, man.
No yeah.
He got too much.
He got too much. That's what I'm saying. It's too much. Too much. I serve too many people.
Know the ledge. I know we just quoted
that.
We
just quoted Know the ledge. I just quoted Mahogany, Mike. That's what I'm saying. It's
his
like
opening lines are a beast.
Mike, even his late ones, the saga begins. My eyes are a photography lens. Properly push pins and show quality gems. The horrors be grim, but yo, maybe tomorrow we win if we follow the trends and keep count of the dollars we spend.
How'd he start out my melody?
Check out my melody.
Yeah, it's like,
I'm letting knowledge be born, and my name's the R-A-K-I-M. Not like a them, I'm not on the list. Word is born. I got rhymes like a scientist. Yeah.
And then
he's got the 7 MCs in the line. Thought, Mike, I take 7 MCs, put them in the line, and take 7 more niggas that they can rhyme. Be 7 more before I go for mine. That's 21 MCs at the same time.
Easy does it, do it easy. That's what I'm doing.
He was literally doing arithmetic on a track, Mike. It's like, nobody heard that shit before. It's like, this nigga count.
I know you got soul. The opening bar. Oh, that's the one I'm thinking about. It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a strong rhyme to step to. He is the first line killer, man.
Mike, but that's what I mean about quotables. So you sit by your radio, hand on the dial. Soon, Mike, how go? As you hear it,
pump up the volume. That's him.
That's Rakim.
That's not a sample. That's
not a sample. That's Rakim, actually, when he says that. Pump up the volume. Yeah, that's every time you hear pump up the volume, that's Rakim.
That's Rakim.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Esquire with the super chat says,
think about how many people have taken the microphone theme beat, Mike.
Yeah. All right, Esquire with the super chat says, fair point about KRS Coop, but most of Rakim's best songs aren't super content heavy either. Outside of the ghetto, it's mostly braggadocious. You got a lot. I think you're thinking about Paid in Full itself. Jay Short with the super chat says, if Heavy D was around for verses, he would be in the top 25. I forgot the Blue Funk album and those boom bap beeps, plus all the hits. Yeah, you got a lot.
I'm still doing it, Sade. You gotta let me finish.
T Nitty with the super chat says, did you mention LP from New York?
All right, I'll call you later.
He killed it with Company Flow and Rockers. Jeff Jug and Run the Jewels. How about Cormega and Killer Priest? Say you left out LP.
No, I didn't. Next. No, I didn't.
Well, I think we got to get up out of here.
Yeah, my daughter was just calling me.
Oh, what was good? Everything
she was asking me how the show went. I was like, well, the show's still going on. So,
well, let's get up out of here, man. Shoot, we got that versus coming up Monday.
Yeah.
I guess we're going to do Tribe and Wu-Tang.
Who's going first, Mike? You want to flip a coin right quick? You want to see?
Let's do that. Somebody got a coin in here? I think I might have one. Let's see. I might have a coin here. Oh, got one. I'm in luck.
That's good.
Oh, we'll do this live. Heads or tails?
I'll take tails. The last shall be first. They from Staten Island.
It's heads.
That's cool. You want to go first?
Yeah, I go first. Because I know you had plans
I do have
to
plans.
go first.
I do have
I'm
plans.
definitely going to go first. Okay.
That's cool.
All right. Well, hit like and subscribe, share, all of that stuff, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in with us, A2HH Live. We definitely going to see y'all next time. See y'all Monday. And we're going to do that song for song matchup Monday. We'll probably do a preview on that show, and we'll talk about, all the albums that we missed, the No Name, J Electronica, all of that.
Yeah, we'll catch up on all our album stuff.
Yeah, and go get the trivia cards, too. It's going to be on accordingtohiphop.com. Click games. You can get that. It's a fun drinking game. Anything you want to leave the people with before we get out?
No, long live hip hop, Mike.
Long live hip hop.
Oh, you want to know what? No, just did my first reaction video.
Oh, yeah.
Slow It Down by Nas.
Plug people to that.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, we're going to be putting it up on According to Hip Hop, but Mike and I are doing some things outside of studio now to keep our traction going. So Mike is actually doing some mic checks, and I'm doing some reaction videos. So be looking out for those. I'm probably going to record another one for night, and we're going to post it. But the traction and the love was really good on the first one.
Nice.
Some people thought my levels were too low. I'm like, well, fuck y'all. I'm tired. So,
well, all right. We out of here. A2HH Live. See y'all next time.